Andy! Hey, Dirty Blue Jean! Might be a bit louder than normally. Where about I am in the house. Not too quiet. Oh man. I'm just at the north of Glasgow. I'm not quite. I've still got 2 minutes before I'm allowed to start drinking though. Else Hill, I'm sure I know where that is. In Glasgow, in a minute. Not time yet, it's 9. Go, just 8 o'clock. Cancel that and get the important stuff done. Bucky time. Hey Kit Kats, how's it going? Oh. Between Motherwell and Hamilton, I'm sure I must drive past it all the time. I've been at Hamilton relatively recently. Alright, okay, yeah, I know where you are. So it's kind of down, a bit further away, yeah. Abraham McGee, Claire Grogan of Altered Images. Claire Grogan, who I'm not old enough to know from Altered Images, but remember from Red Dwarf. That's her, isn't it? Yeah, we're on. Got to number it again, don't I? As usual. What number are we at? It's number 9. 8. 8, not bad. So number 9, so I get the bottle after you. It came off the plant. With tribute to the ruining of the White Album by having Revolution 9 on it. Yeah. Sheena Easton was from Bellshill. Oh, was she in Gregory's Girl as well? Yeah, I've not seen Gregory's Girl forever. I don't think I've actually seen it since I kind of knew Cumbernauld, really, to be honest. Okay, go Kit Kats. What's your new purchase? That was a good Bucky. Hey, Ian Kebble, howdy from Ayr, the Shire. Yes. Hey, Kenneth, Heartwood guitar, Heartwood Charger Vibrato. I have no idea what that is. You've just dropped the action on a Fender F5512. I'm not sure what that is. I assume that's an acoustic or a 12 string. So what did you do? Adjust the truss rod, or did you just shave down the saddle? 12. I find 12 strings a little bit scary. It's not so bad. The problem with a 12 string, I think, an acoustic anyway, is it's got to be a decent one. The cheap ones don't, because there's so much pull with 12 strings and stuff, it becomes... Why are these so cheap? They're 50 years old. I think, again, I'm just saying there because people have the idea a lot. It's not going to be your main guitar. Everyone, you played the guitar for a few years, whatever, you go, oh, get a 12 string. So you don't buy an expensive 12 string, you get one for 50, 80 quid or something like that. And because there's so much pressure on it and stuff, it's got to be a better guitar than that. If it's a couple £100 Yamaha, be fine. But if it's like an older one, they just tend to be an awful lot. And also, I think maybe strings on them a bit of a bitch to change as well because they're expensive and thin. Your thin string goes rusty on a normal set of strings. There's more thin strings on a 12 string set, so they kind of go rusty and dead quicker. Hey Malcolm, how's your week been? That's been good. I'm sore. I was at a stag do last night. Not hungover though, because I'm drinking tonight. But we went paintballing, and I don't think I suffered a lot. I think it's like everyone was fine until I started running, and it's up here. So ran probably only 20 or 30 yards, and then I was out of breath and sore, and then I was just kind of knackered the whole time. I'm so unfit; it's pure stupid. But the problem of having memories of being fit. So it's like, run over there. I ain't bother. I can do that. Spirit is willing, flesh is weak. It's really bad. Hartwood are the grown up for Gear for Music 250. Nick, you could land a plane on it. It's tops. I've heard of Hartwood. I didn't know they were anything to do with Gear for Music. There you go. Yeah, Yoakum. Oh, you're COVIDed up. Oh, man. So you just said COVID week. They're thinking that, so for a week, you're proper ill, or maybe not even a week, proper ill, testing positive, and then you get a week of just going, just go away, just because you feel fine for 10 minutes, and then you go and try and do something, and you're just pure knackered and back on it again, back to bed. It's like, and then you just end, so you get a week of being ill, then you get a week of being really annoyed that it just, why am I not better yet? Even though you feel fine when you're sitting there. So you're sitting watching telly going, I feel fine. And you go to the toilet and you're just like, I think part of that's just been, if you lie down for a week, you takes you a while to get back into standing up again. 8 on a 12 string. Well, I don't know. I have no idea what strings I put on my 12 string. It's been that long since I put strings on it. I put elixirs on it, so they were about 25 quid. I'm going to sell it. There's no point having it. I used to use it for recording a lot. It was good for backing tracks and stuff, but 12 strings are a bit less annoying when the octave G is missing. Right? E-A-G, right? I actually made a Buckycaster out of a sort of innovation type guitar that I made a 7-string. So I doubled the G. No, I doubled the D. I doubled the G. I can't remember. I put an extra string on it. So it was just like your usual 6 strings, but one of them had the higher D on it for Mr. Tambourine Man. So it was the D, the G string that I doubled, because I think you can get away with just using another E string rather than buying a set of 12 strings to get the extra string. I think I just used the high, like a 10, for the octave G or the D, whatever way around I did it. It kind of worked really well though, so I'm going to have to do it. In fact, I might do that with one of those. I might do that again. So you just put a tuner on it and then stick an extra bridge pin in. Not much to it, and it's like, it doesn't make it as hard to play as a 12 string. It's just that one of the strings in the middle is doubled, so you get like an extra octave up note on all your chords. It's like, see the difference between playing like a G, like the way the books tell you, and then playing it the way you should. Where you, like I think everyone knows that as the "Wish You Were Here" chord. So instead of just playing a G, like one finger on there, you put the second finger on, so you're covering the 3rd fret and the 2nd on the B string as well. Is a better G than that one. Just got a wee bit more zing to it, whereas the extra string kind of did that again. Hey 71, hey SG, Scott, how's it going? What's that you're playing? That's not a girl's guitar. Well, thanks very much. It's not a girl. Well, to be honest, it kind of sort of is a girl's guitar a little bit. It's very light and thin and svelte and modern looking. It's a Yamaha that I modded myself. This does come with, see, I don't know if you can really see it there because it's not dark enough. It's got a green light there. Well, that tells you you're on the neck pickup. That tells you you're on both pickups, and the blue light tells you you're on the bridge pickup. And this is a rotary switch. So it doesn't have a pickup selector, it doesn't have a tone control. Instead, it's got a rotary switch there to change between pickups. I modded this so it's got a push-pull pot here to split these into single coils, and when you push it in to make it humbucker, ba-dumph, there's an orange light comes on to tell you you're in humbucker mode. So now I can tell by looking at this guitar that we're in humbucker mode and you're on the bridge, in humbucker mode on the neck, and humbucker mode in the single. Yeah, just silly. It totally does look like the sort of guitar a Stormtrooper would play. It looks a lot more futuristic than it is. It's kind of like an M&M or something. It's like a hardwood outside. It's not hollow, but inside it's got like balsa wood, which makes it incredibly light. And apart from that, and the fact part, and it's also got light bulbs to tell you which pickup it's on. It's not active or anything like that. So if the battery runs out or is taken out, you just can't. The lights just don't light up. Everything still does the same. It's got a mad looking bridge, kind of arty looking. It's kind of just a bit different. It's also got see, it's this shape. There's a diagram somewhere where it shows you there's tone tubes that run through the body, and these tone tubes make the top vibrate, and then the tone goes down through the 3 tone tubes onto the back, and then the back resonates, and then inside it. It's a really good looking graphic. It's like a pure 80s, kind of like the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy type graphics of it, and you look at it and you go, oh, one of them. And then other things like the tuners, they're just normal tuners, but see, instead of having the normal buttons on them, they've got like a thing for your tire caps on your car, which actually are great because you can put this. If you bash this, it doesn't knock them out. You know, so you can put this in a gig bag, and they don't turn because they're not levered. Seems like a great idea. But to be honest, it's like, apart from what it looks like, it's really just a very normal guitar. It doesn't really do anything else. Paintball wizard. Hey Peg, how are you doing? I'm sore. I had quite a lot of bruises when I was in the shower this morning. It was like, oh, I was aware I've got a lot on my back, but I can't see my own back. But there's certain places I can sit. I went out in the car earlier on to go to the shop to get my bucky, and I could feel bits. There's as if someone's just going on the back, on my back and the backs of my legs as well. Seemed to be the bit that hit. Oh, I like a Yamaha, and I had a YSG. Yes, I know the one. No, was it a YSG? What's the one that's kind of not unlike a what you get as a Rev Star now? Is that the YSG? Is it not an MSG? Is it not an MSG? Is it a YSG? Oh. Love a guitar not to be in the USA. There's I thought they were all black in the USA. I think apparently, because I was looking up, obviously you get a white one. There's a black one. There's also which one? There's a red one and a blue one. One of them is really rare, and the other one is really, really, really rare. But the black one isn't. I actually had a black one in, and I did this exact mod to it because obviously, why would you not want to have coil splits? Because it's got these big sort of P90 shaped humbuckers, DiMarzios, which are really good, but they sound amazing coil split. They really missed a trick when they were designing this guitar, not doing this mod, so you get like singles. Really, really good. That's it, bucker. I know you can't hear that because of the quality of the audio, but it does make a difference, honest. Have that bridge in your spares box? Oh, I'd stick it on anything. With only 4 saddles, the tone tubes are still attached if you ever need spares. I don't know, but surely you could fit tone pots and stuff to some other way. You wonder what guitar it came off and what they put on instead. I suppose you could just put like a telly bridge on or something like that. I mean, it's not really that fancy. It does intone up and down the way, and it does go back and forward. So I mean, it's entirely functional, just made out of a bent piece of kind of like, I don't know. But it's nice. It's a good design. I don't know why I never went in anything else. My theory with this guitar is, Yamaha do lots of things. They make lawnmowers and stereos and boat engines and all that. I think they maybe had the guy who designs motorbikes design a guitar, and I think that's what this is, sort of. It's not really that mad, and the whole idea, but obviously at some point they didn't want a pickup selector because that would ruin the look of it. So that's why it's got this rotary thing, which isn't actually ideal. It's not as easy to use as a pickup selector, but it looks cool. It's quite common to put a pickup selector in line with it. I was really disappointed when I got this to realise that it's like the total most underused battery ever in anything. Basically, all the battery does in normal mode is turn on that light. So you've got a 9-volt battery in it that all it does is turn on the light or the green light or both lights. That's all it does. But it's not the least used. The least used is the base version, because the base version has the same pots with the sort of plastic perspex bit with a light bulb in it, and you've just got like a red light, a green light under the neck pickup and a blue light under the bridge pickup. That's it. And they don't even turn on and off. At least this one, you can get yourself a wee disco going if you were wanting to, but the base version doesn't, and I've never seen a base version cheap enough. But no, the black one's apparently more common in America, and the white one's what we get over here. But I prefer the white one, even though the black one is really cool. What's the manliest guitar you've got? That one, maybe? A pink BC Rich bitch. That's pretty manly. Did a good just a young lad about 11 in a second-hand shop looking at an acoustic with his dad. The thing was absolute shite, damaged with bad action, way too expensive. So you told him not to buy it, or did you actually just sell him a guitar? Yes, I know. It's one of those things. You talk about someone who's like, 10 or 11. I'm sure there's people, quite a lot of people didn't actually learn to play because the guitar they had was shit. I was lucky, and the first guitar I had was a Honor. It was a black Strat. Maybe that's why I was so against black. I'm still against black Strats with white scratch plates, and it's only relatively recently I've got into Strats. What I know now is either the truss rod was over tightened or there was something wrong with the neck, because you basically couldn't play open chords on it. They just buzzed. Luckily, I learned by playing Black Sabbath, which was mostly power chords, but I couldn't really even play power chords but anything below the third fret was just, and I just thought it was shit for the first 6 months of playing. And then for my 18th birthday, I got a Yamaha acoustic, and it was like, hold on, open chords are easy. And I've been playing bar chords the whole time because I thought I just wasn't good enough to play chords. So I was lucky, but I think a lot of people would have bought that guitar and they would have seen, nowadays you'd watch someone on YouTube and they go, I play a C. And it's like, you do it and it goes, and you go, oh, I'm shit at this. And then you just never go any further. Oh. The father was a guitarist, didn't have much of a clue. I talked to them both out of it. Actually, I'm getting a bit caught up here. Literally talking about it and sent them to a good guitar shop run by a mate. Hope the kid gets something decent. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things again. The thing about buying a guitar that looks cool, it's like, BC Rich kind of went into that category where they used to be really good. Or in the 70s and stuff, they were, only made in America, thousands of dollars, blah, blah, blah. They're always neck through. And then they started making slightly cheaper ones in Japan, like that one, which is still a top quality. It's a Japanese guitar, so it's better than any other guitar, really. And then they just got cheaper, but they got to the late 80s. I mean, even a couple of years after that one, you can get one that looks pretty much the same. Shite. And then even after that, by the time maybe 10, 15 years ago, they seemed to only really sell pure basic models, like 100, 120 quid was but 90% of BC Riches were. Now, their BC Rich are back and they're making all the fancy ones, but they make them in China and they're $1,000. So I've had a few of the Bronze Series Warlocks and stuff like that. I was picking them up for 20, 30 quid, fixing them up, putting some switches in them, selling for 100 quid sort of thing. Now they're 150 quid anyway, regardless of condition, just because now you go, oh, BC Rich, you look up the BC Rich current line and they start at like 900 quid and you go, oh, and then, oh, look, there's a cheaper one for 150 quid on eBay, second hand. So it's just kind of the way these things work. If I was a guitarist but didn't have much of a clue, I know, but there's people who play guitar don't know anything about them. A lot of people, it seems strange though. A lot of people only have one guitar and have had the same guitar since I've had it for 30 years. And you get people who play the guitar and people who play the guitar. There's a lot of people who are my age and older who, when they were 18, learned how to play, 2 Beatles songs, a Stones song, and a Status Quo song. And that's their repertoire. So after a party, they've got 4 songs they can play, and they can't play anything else. Just a different way of doing it. I suppose it depends. I learned it from a book type thing. And it's like, I don't really see the point of it. Hey, Tom, Daniel, how's it going? Sorry, I'll try to cut up a wee bit. 4 men are walking through my hood and looking in houses. Should I follow them? It depends where they're foreign from. Are they brown? Don't know. But you're in, look, if you look honestly, Mr. White, you're living in Holland, right? So basically, surely everyone's foreign because you're American. I don't imagine there's that many American people in Holland. So I think going to a foreign land and complaining about foreigners that's a very Brexity mentality to it. I'm not using that. Don't put that in the thing. I'll get demonetized. Don't mention that. It's is it your expats who go to all the British people who go to Spain and stuff like that, complaining about how people don't speak English, and it's like, You're in Spain. I'd imagine he probably speaks Spanish. So maybe if you're going to another country that speaks a different language, you should really complain that they don't speak English. Can't bear to see those kids and beginners buying guitar-shaped objects. Looking at something handed over for have a bash. Yeah, it's bizarre, isn't it? But the thing is, it's not like other things, getting a good guitar, because you can get what is technically a very good guitar, but you really don't like the look of it. You know what I mean? It's like your favorite band Slayer and Slipknot and all that, and you give them, like a jazz master. Or no, that's a bad move because he actually uses a jazz master. Do you know what I mean? Like I was going to say a Telecaster, but Slipknot use a Telecaster. Like a Hank Marvin Strat with single coils, and you only want to play death metal. It doesn't matter whether it's a good one. You're not going to play that because you're going to look at it and go, it's not really what I want. That kind of comes in with my second ever electric guitar. Was a Yamaha RG. It was an RGX. It wasn't like this, but it was an RGX from a few years before. Basically, it looked like an Ibanez RG, and it was a good guitar. It was great. That a Floyd Rose, which it couldn't work. There was no YouTube tutorials telling you how to set it up, so it was either sitting like that or sunk somewhere into the body, so it was all over the place. But I didn't like that guitar because it did not look like the music I wanted to play. I wanted to be playing Sabbath and Deep Purple and the Stones and the Beatles, and RG totally does that. That wasn't the look I was after. Oh, I'm just going to go to the bottom, let people catch up. Sorry, what 17? I was a lad, but my dad took me to Argos after a guitar shop, got a nylon string acoustic, maybe the guitar today, average 1787. The thing about those nylon strings is, I just feel, I don't know if you still do them in Argos, but most, not the very cheapest and shittest ones, but I've got one that's, I call it the Don't Be a Dick guitar, because when at Glastonbury I had a sticker that said Don't Be a Dick that I put on it. But that's what people should have as travel guitars. So I'd spending £400 and getting like a Mini Martin or whatever, or one of your Hofner shorties with a wee amp in it. It's like, you've paid £400 for that. I mean, does it really? If you've got a wee nylon stinger, you can still fucking play Slayer on it. And if it costs you 20 quid, 30 quid, and it's like, you really can, if you can't afford carrying it home, just burn it, or if someone steals it, or and it's good fun. Wouldn't mind. I don't know what a Shredzilla is. That's not one of the old models. I don't know. The problem with BC Rich, especially some of the more modern ones, see ones of this era, like, so the first run were like no, I think the very first BC Riches was the seagull, and it had a spike that stuck into your chest. It kind of looks a little bit like a Les Paul, apart from it's somehow got a spike that comes in here, and it's like it's attacking you. Whereas most of the ones later on, like that one, it does have spikes, but they all point away from you. And it's like most BC Riches are kind of the points away from you. I had one that was called Beast, which is kind of something between that and a Warlock. But some of the spikes stuck into you. It's like, no, I'm playing it. I want the spikes to be going away from me. So I don't know. Early Ball Music Man Kaizen. New but looks very 80s. 3,800 coin. Oh dear. I don't know. Benidorm, where you can eat full English breakfast in a budget pub watching Peter Kay. There's actually, is it in Benidorm? Is it Spain? There's a Buckycaster on the wall of ye old British pub, or whatever it's called, in, I think it's Spain. I had to ship one to Spain and have it hanging on the wall. I was a Scottish person, probably. But I'm the same. I remember the first time I ever really went abroad. Me and my pal went to see John Fogerty in Amsterdam, and we got off the trains like, I fancy lunch, and it was like, Burger King, and it's like, oh man, we've got Burger King at home. Actually, exactly the same thing happened when the first time I went to China. I hit Civet at the airport. So, do you want a Burger King? I've just been on the first time I've ever been anywhere on my own. I've just traveled 6,000 miles, whatever it is. Of course, I don't want a Burger King. She's like, well, I'm buying one for the taxi driver anyway. I was like, okay, I'll have one. And it was much fucking better than the Burger Kings we get. It was like the photos we get of a Burger King, not what you actually get. But that's because it's competing with other really high quality small shops that sell carry out food. It's not here where they've got a monopoly. It's like, oh, you want a Burger King? You have to go here. There's nowhere else. Because I've never heard of teaspooning. It's Trackcaster. How's it going? Get the BC Richard. I could. It's not, but I've not even tuned it yet. I'll maybe wait till I've had a wee bit more bucky before I play that. I think. Hey, I've got a dilemma. Save for another guitar or buy a motorbike. I don't know. I mean, I've never had a motorbike. The only one I ever drove was in China, and it was like an electric thing. Only did 28 kilometers an hour going down a hill. Pretty sure I wasn't legally allowed to drive it, but I was driving it anyway. I don't know. The summer's coming in, isn't it? I think it's the same as anything else, Dunk Mac. Why don't you buy the motorbike, drive it for a couple of weeks, crash, break your legs, claim the insurance money, and use that to buy a guitar? And while you're like in hospital or something, you can play your new guitar, maybe. I don't know. Can't believe I got something like an old 60s souvenir book from Buckfast Abbey. You should have. Yes, that would have been awesome. That would have gone on the wall. There's a gap there. That would have gone on the wall right there. Trying to get a Rev Star in Gumtree, but getting ghosted or something. Someone who sold it and can't be bothered. I don't understand that. I tried to buy a Scalextric set a couple of weeks ago, and it was up here. Yeah, totally. It's up here. I think it was 40 quid. I was like, how would you take 30 quid? No, I'm driving over to Edinburgh to pick it up. There's nothing. And you're like, you never really know about these things. Imagine there was mods in here, the rocket would stop them. Yuck. I don't know, but there's racism and there's racism. Like they could make Blazing Saddles today. No, they couldn't. Is it racist? Out of context, oh my God, it's racist. But all the racist people in it are fucking idiots, and the joke's on them for being idiots. So it kind of changes it around a little bit. And I don't think that your Mr. Whitesnake jokes, I don't think that's racist. No, I know it's a borderline one that I wouldn't want to put in text message, but it'd be definitely care what you do here. AWRC Gumtree is a place for flakes. I take it you mean flakes just getting ignored. Yes, I don't like Gumtree. Gumtree, it happens rarely. The thing is, on Facebook Marketplace, you kind of get an idea. See when someone, if I'm selling a guitar, 300 quid, right? For example, and then I get a message that is 3 digits, 150. They don't get. Fuck off. If you can't even be bothered saying, hi, I'm interested in the guitar, any chance you take 150 for it or 200 for it or whatever, you'll get a, no, sorry, I need to get blah, blah, blah. If I just get a digit, if you can't be bothered spending 3 seconds saying hello, would you take, then you're not going to be bothered driving over to get it, are you? The way it goes. Oh, fake ads, are there? I don't know. It's one of those, the fake ads things, it's one of those things, they prey on greed, which is a really bad thing. So if you see something that's too good to be true, they're playing you. And it's like, so they're kind of, you're going, I don't really know anything about these things, but I'm pretty sure that's £1,000 guitar and it's only £100. Give them £100 and you get, if you actually manage to get the guitar, you pay £100 and it's a fake one. That's why it wasn't £1,000 like it should have been. So you're kind of screwing yourself a little bit. If it's too good to be true, be very, very wary. I mean, to be honest, I have had a few guitars that were too good to be true. Oh, see, now I'm looking at the ones that I've got. Some of my Ibanez Blazer I got for 25 quid. The thing was in bits. It'd been painted badly. He said all the electrics were missing in the advert, even though you're looking at the picture going, it's got the pickups in it, the tuners, 6 of them. The bridge appears to be there. That's fine. And actually, when I went to get it, the pots and the switch were all there. It's just that someone had unscrewed the bolt on the front, so all the stuff had fallen inside the guitar. So instead of replacing the pots, I just had to get like the nut that goes on the top so you could attach them to the scratch plate again. But it wasn't too good to be true. I have a Buckfast pen drive. I'll send you a message for. It's a mini bucky bottle. Wow, That sounds fucking awesome. A Vespa riding mod mongrel. It sounds like fun, the Vespa thing. Yeah. Yeah. Reverb is bad too, really? I don't know. What about Tropic Thunder? That wouldn't get made now, really. See, the thing is, I still class that as being quite a modern film. It is ridiculous, but I don't know. But then again, it's looking at it in context. Yes, okay, Robert Downey Jr. Now, this must have been before Iron Man. I don't know if I know who he was at the time. And he's playing a black man, but he's in character. So when they're not actually doing the film, behind the scenes, he's pure acting like he's a black guy. And there's a black guy here going, what the hell are you talking about? Is that pure? Yeah, they're just trying to put us people down. And the actual black guy's like, fuck off. What the? That's him being a dick. Not laughing at black people. It's laughing at him being a dick. Same. That's the Blazing Saddles thing. It's like, it's not the black people come across as thoroughly sensible and normal. It's all the racist white people who are absolute fucking idiots. And for that, I like it, and I see it. If it had just been racist, I can't handle racism whenever it gets to it. I see there was a term used, mods who became casuals by the mid-80s. Wow. Don't know about that. I did like in the... I was talking, okay, Andrew, I saw you say hello a minute ago, but I can't keep up with the chat. The mods in the Book of Boba Fett, there's mods, and it's like, they're on Vespas and all that. They're even on they're hover Vespas, but they look totally like Vespas, and they've got 6 sets of wing mirrors on them, so they're total mods, and they're called the mods. And then later on, you realise that what they're doing is they actually modifying their bodies like sort of punks with tattoos, but instead they're getting like artificial hands and stuff like that, and like special eye implants so they can zoom lens and shit like that. So that's why they're called mods. So it's like a double joke, which I got. I thought was quite good. Sent a message to Aladdin a guitar about a month ago, still hasn't read it, and it's still for sale. Bear in mind, it's a trek for me to collect too. It doesn't bode well. It's not meant to be. You've got to be. You can't. Don't throw everything on it. One of my tactics for these things is, if it's not meant for, I know I'm not like I believe in fate and all that, but if it's not meant for you, you don't get it. So the way I see it, most of the guitars I've got, I was meant to get them. I don't necessarily believe in that, and it's a philosophy of life. But if you just believe that, and then it's like, if it doesn't, you don't get it. You don't get it. It wasn't meant. You weren't meant to have it. If you were meant to have it, you'll end up with it. Is the way I look at it. It's like saying lol without laughing. Irish stew. Yes. I remember who was it I heard say that? I can't remember. You're sitting there talking away and they're like, lol, and you're like, wow. I did hear a funny thing. I suppose it's not really that funny, but it was I think it was just a Facebook thing, and some of them saying that I got a text from my mum saying, yeah, it's like your Uncle Fred died last week. The funeral's on Tuesday. Lol. And the guy's like, Mum, what do you mean lol? Laugh. What's funny about it? Just like, nothing funny about it. Your Uncle Fred's died. Up here, but what do you think lol means? She's like, lots of love. He's like, no, lol means laugh out loud. And then the text from mum was, oh shit, I've got a lot of text messages, mate, because you'd obviously sent it as a blanket text to everybody. You know what I mean? But fair enough, thinking it meant lots of love. So you would say, yeah, be careful. I play everything from tellies to metal stuff like Deans. I've never really come across a Dean I really like, to be honest. I've had a couple. I think I've had a couple of the ML models, which I think look cool, but they're just so big. It's like it's far bigger. Again, if you're a mad Dimebag Darrell plays one of them. In fact, I had a Washburn Dimebag Darrell, which was the same shape as an ML. If you're mad into Pantera, that'll make sense to you because you're playing your Pantera and it's sounding, that's what you want. Whereas to me, it's like kind of, I don't know what to play on it, but it was also pure huge. But you take the same as a Flying V. Flying V is not a practical guitar. They're really cool, but I mean, I never play sitting down. Well, just as well because you can't. And it is huge, and you can't put it in a normal gig bag and all these things. You know what I mean? But there's something to pay for something looking that cool. Oh, what you mean, you people? the Star Wars version of Cybermen. I'm told to look like a Viking trying to piss himself off as a mod. Makes sense. Yes, you are a bit. I love the cyberpunk vibes of the Vespa gang in the Book of Boba Fett, but it felt a bit out of place and cringy. I don't know. Dave Kit Kats, I might not agree with you on Telecasters, but I didn't hate the Book of Boba Fett, but I liked Andor, and the problem is Andor's kind of ruined everything since then. So I kind of get used to Andor being good, like the old films. Like when I was a kid, the real films, the good ones, Empire Strikes Back, and all that. It's kind of like that. And then you went back to Obi-Wan and Mandalorian, and it's like not really the same, is it? It's not really the same. But in saying that, Andor is something I think if you weren't really into Star Wars, you could watch and enjoy it as a cool science fiction thing. So I'm not just Star Wars, I like science fiction and mad shit, but I mean, it doesn't have to be Star Wars, whereas a lot of the modern stuff is like pure, oh, look, a land speeder, look, it's Luke Skywalker, and it's like pure. Just sticking in things that you recognise isn't really the same as actually having a story. Fair enough, but write the characters and the script, make it a good story, and then go, right, so we've got our story, right, well, there's a chase here and there's a fight here, and there you go, makes perfect sense, as opposed to going, right, we've got this fight scene, right, we've got this bit where the Millennium Falcon turns up, right, how can we make that into a story somehow using those two bits? And it's like, yeah. Leadfies, I used to hate the look of tellies. Now on Freedom, I think everyone used to hate the look of tellies. That's why I wish everyone who's buying their first guitar always ends up with a Strat, because when someone says electric, I don't actually have a Strat on the wall. That's disgusting, isn't it? There's one there. There's one down there. When you think of an electric guitar, when I used to think of an electric guitar, someone said, oh, an electric guitar, I immediately thought of Hank Marvin's Red Strat. That is an electric guitar. I wasn't so sure when it's like, if you showed me a Les Paul, you go, no, it's wooden, because I didn't know guitars were made of wood. I'd never played one. I didn't know they were wooden. I don't know what I thought they were made of, but I just assumed they were spaceship material. Well, like this one, I suppose. I love him. But tellies, I think tellies is something that you grow into. Eventually, you'll end up having to play one at some point. What happened to me when I was even in a band with a guy, my Peg, he's got his purple telly, and I took it up, it looks cool as fuck. I didn't like it. And then one night we were, I don't know, in the studio or jamming somewhere, and I was stuck with it for half an hour. And after 10 minutes, it suddenly you go, hold on, this does a thing. And then I became a telly fan. But initially it wasn't something I liked. I liked tellies before I liked Strats. Oh. Don't get jealous. My Big Mac, just the extra sauce just arrived. Well, I'm not. I get it. Empire is 40 years old now. Is Return of the Jedi? Lennon, Return of the Jedi. Aye. So Empire is 43. Yes, Andrew, I totally agree with your cool font that I wish everyone else knew how to do. I didn't even know that was coming in the cinema. But check this out. This is Andrew Lennon there. Lennon's claim to fame. He put a tweet on. Was it a tweet or an Instagram or something? Said he was going to see Return of the Jedi, and Mark Hamill commented on it. That's pretty fucking high level shit. That. I mean, no wonder. I think that was why he texted me earlier on. I thought he was under the guise of wanting to fix his guitar, but really it was like put a tweet out. Mark Hamill went cool or something. Thumbs up. A picture of a camel. Oh, the camels, because I bet it's Hamill Camel or something. Yeah. Quadrophenia is a better movie than Star Wars. I'm arguing that point. I do like Quadrophenia. But a nice day, love you all. What are you away? We're talking about Star Wars. Not talking about Star Wars for very much longer. Seen a video of a Nashville session guy with a 1955 telling had it tuned down a whole step. Why not? I mean, is that? I mean, I suppose you could look at it as, so you got it tuned down to D. Basically, maybe the song was written in D, but he had a really good lick that you couldn't to get the open strings. And I think a lot of the Nashville session guys wasn't called wall of sound, but it was that kind of thing where you would have like recorded all live on one mic sort of thing, but the acoustic guitar wouldn't be one guy with an acoustic. It'd be a guy playing what we would class as rhythm guitar. But you'd have another guy who was just playing the root notes on acoustic sort of thing, and then you would have someone else who was just going, but they would play the right chords. So you'd end up with this massive sound because everyone's playing something slightly different, but they're all just playing the same rhythm guitar part. Whereas now you can overdub and put effects on and stuff, but back then it was just a case of let's just have 6 acoustic guitar players, right? You're using a Nashville tuned guitar, which is basically the thin strings off a 12-string set. You're playing note 2, you're playing the chords pure, and then you're just picking the chords, and you're just playing the root notes. Kind of thing. So maybe that's where the D thing came in, just because there was already someone else in the band playing. And I suppose the same idea about putting a capo on. I know guys I know in a band, it's like they always use a capo because you can fiddle away. Two of them they're quite intricate, finger picky shitty stuff. So one of them's playing an open tune and one will put a capo on a B just so that they're playing the same chords, but it obviously sounds different when you play a G there or you play a G which would be A-shaped with a capo on, sort of thing. That just gives you a slightly different voicing. That means when you do your wee twiddly bits, you're that kind of thing, because you can't. It's not as easy to do in the key of G, but you can do that if you've got the capo on. So you can do that, but you're in a different key. Talking with Spacement material, but picked up a book in a charity shop. Oh, hold on. But the National Guitar State, all the absolutely mad fiberglass stuff in there, pure space age looks. National, not the ones that do resonators and stuff like that. They're pretty advanced. I think if resonators would have been bigger, if they'd just been a bit earlier. I think the problem with resonators were so you could hear an acoustic guitar playing along with other people. So they made a analog, a natural, mechanical amplifier in it. So it's got like a metal dish thing. So it is just fucking loud, especially if you're playing slide guitar. It's like you've got a chance of hearing that over folk playing drums and stuff. And then not that many years later, the electric pickup was invented, sort of thing. I think that's kind of how it goes. Don't quote me on that, but something like that. Pure space age looks. But that's the thing when the space age stuff comes in. It's, I mean, you look at something. I remember I was watching. It was called Sounds of the 70s. I think it was on during the day. I used to set my first ever video recorder to it when I was at school, and it was on at 2:00 in the afternoon or something like that. And I set it and I'd come back and watch it, and it was like at the start. It was like Sounds of the 70s, and it had a bit where it was. I don't think it was the Abbey Road zebra crossing, but it was a zebra crossing like that, and it had guitars that were kind of on their own, sort of spinning in really bad graphics. I don't know how they did it. Must have been drawings or something, and it was like a flying V. And I couldn't believe a flying V was not the most modern guitar. It was 1958 or something, the flying V. It was too futuristic for the time, but it's like, there's not really any guitars that look more modern than a flying V, really. Okay, you get your headless ones and stuff like that. I mean, all the ones I've got on the wall there, none of them look. Does that look modern? It's 1983, so it's not really modern. The other ones are kind of like I suppose that's the most modern one because that's my shape. So whenever I built that was when that shape was invented. Oh, more important cultural document. I don't know. It's a cultural document, but the thing is, Star Wars started shit. I don't know, but I think A New Hope over Valley. No, I'm obviously completely biased. It's the same thing I keep looking back to with all this stuff. You got to remember, I was born in 78, so I never. Star Wars was already a thing. I think I had probably like Star Wars figures maybe before Star Wars had actually been on telly, or maybe about the time Star Wars was on telly. I remember getting a bootleg. My uncle had a bootleg VHS of Return of the Jedi when it was out in the cinema. I never actually got to see it in the cinema, but I saw that. And then a couple of years later, I saw Empire Strikes Back when it came out on VHS video, or it was a Betamax we had, but it came out on video. Actually, Return of the Jedi was in VHS, and actually I had to borrow my uncle's VHS video there to play the thing. And I think maybe had it for 2 days, and basically that Return of the Jedi tape was on and playing for the entirety of those 2 days, apart from when I was in bed. Absolutely loved it. But that was just, so I'm completely biased against that, so I can't really judge it. I know it's like Mr. Lennon there, he's likes the prequels because that was when he was that age. The prequels were out when I was by the time the prequels came out, I was like, 18 or something, and it was like good the first time I saw it, and then after that, nah. I've not seen Quadrophenia for years. I do like, it's one of those albums. I like the album a lot, but maybe it's because it's one of those things, a wee bit like I was saying earlier about the Beatles White Album. It doesn't have great sides. You put it on and you go, oh, I'll stick on Quadrophenia. So you put on a side, and the first 3 minutes is the noise of the sea, and you're like, I understand that because it's a film. It's not really, it's a concept album stuff, but you got to have less bits of just the ba, 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 for like, let's get right into the songs. The Nashville tuning down a whole stop. Is this sound as a sound of country and western today? It possibly could be. Hey, Mindy, you've spoke. Yeah, I often see at the end saying, cheers. I plonked for that FSR thin line. We're going to have to revise my opinion of new Squires. It was easily empowered by the original Japanese Strat. Jeff, okay, yes. It kind of can't be or shouldn't be. It's possible there's something wrong with your Japanese Strat, but then again, maybe I'm biased on it. This isn't a Japanese guitar. It's one of the few ones I've got. You can see on the wall that isn't Japanese. They're all Japanese, apart from the two that are Scottish, and this one, which is, I genuinely don't even know. It doesn't even have a serial number. It does. SMM09, 2009. I think it might be older than that. I don't know. Yamaha had a tendency to use, how do they call it? Japanese Empire things. So it's like the numbers, there is a date, but it's a numbers after the Ming Dynasty or something. I don't really know. They don't make it easy. It doesn't just say, I wish all guitars at the start would just say 1986 and then the serial number, or even just 86 then the serial number. Nice and easy, not pure codes and all that. Buddy Holly, well, all right. I can't play it without a capo. You can play it without a capo because obviously you can use bar chords. It might be very, very difficult to play, but you can do it. I'm sure you can play. There's nothing you can. There, I've been watching a few Alan Holdsworth videos. Last couple of days, I don't understand any of it. He was talking about a bizarre thing about how he sees the fretboard. It was like an instruction video, and he was looking at scales. And it was like, yeah, this is this scale. So when he's looking at things, he doesn't see what the start note is and scales and stuff like that. He just sees the fretboard with most of the notes that you can play. Most of the notes in the fretboard you can play because they're in this scale, and there's ones you can't play that are missed out. But he sees that, so he's like, he doesn't play here and go, that's an E, and he goes, oh. He just knows that those are the notes. Bit mental. Townsend was great using capos. I just don't. I generally don't do capos, and I don't do alternate tunings at all. I suppose you could argue that I do play alternate tunings in the Sabbath band, because one of the basses I've got is tuned to C sharp for the stuff off Master of Reality in Volume 4. But I don't know. See, I've got a problem. See, if you drop it down half a step, in my head, I can tell that's an E. So see if you play me a note on a guitar that's not an E, I'm like, that's not right. It doesn't sound right. You know what I mean? It's like I'm used to an E being there. The C sharp is you're right down at C sharp, so it's miles away. So I can go like up here. That's not an E. Oh, it's okay. It's something else. Whereas see if it's just a D, it's not far enough away to be really obvious that it's something else. It just sounds wrong to me. So I don't like that aspect of it. I also struggle with the alternate tuning thing as well, because maybe just when I started, there's things like Street Fighting Man and stuff like that were in funny tunes, and Kashmir. I used to be able to play them. But the thing was, you tune the guitar to Kashmir, play Kashmir for 10 minutes. This is great. I want to play something else now. and just tune it back to normal tuning. To ultimately, maybe if I just learn alternate tuning a little bit later. It's just that little bit later hasn't started yet. I still can't really play in normal tuning. I'm still, every time I play, going, oh, there's another note. Oh, I like that one. Ho ho. And then I tend to overuse it for 6 months. But I mean, it's like, I tend to just play what I remember. It's like, kind of, I don't know. I've got a shite practice regime. I don't really have one. Where's the book, Pete? What book? National did the resonators and made electrics under loads of different brands like Supro, Airline, and Valco. Really? National made the Supros? Cool. Oh. Hey, Austin, Texas. That's where it is. Star Wars was a retro thing. Had been done since the 30s already. Wasn't new or groundbreaking or on the FX. Sort of, but it was easier to watch. Maybe just a technology thing because it was in colour and it was quite fast-paced and all that shit. I don't know. Flash Gordon, now that's original science fiction. I know, I get it. Yeah. With soundtrack by Queen. No, I didn't realise Flash Gordon was meant to be funny until I was much older. But I mean, before I knew who Queen were or that I liked music, the music I listened to when I first got my first Walkman in 1980, whenever Bad was out, 1987, something like that. When I got my first Walkman, I bought Michael Jackson Bad. But the other tapes I had were like one of my dad's tapes. It was the Beach Boys, 20 Golden Greats by the Beach Boys and 20 Golden Greats by the Shadows on the other side. That one. And James Bond and, Indiana Jones and Star Wars and all that. That was the music at Krull. Maybe I don't think it really comes through in my playing very much, but I mean, I liked that before I really knew what music was. I would just be constantly singing the Krull theme, as you do if you've ever heard the Krull theme. Also, didn't understand how much I liked the music from Wrath of Khan, which is James Horner as well. So it's exactly the same as the Krull theme. You can totally hear it. I don't remember the original ones. It was a bit silly, but yeah, I wasn't there. Get that B. I'm going to get the BC right out because I don't think I've ever been called a hooter in my life. I don't know what it means. I'm assuming it's a sort of a friendly term of abuse. Yeah, hooter. Really? What do you? Right. So you don't like Telecasters, but you can handle a pink BC Rich bitch, or it's even worse than that. It's a skinny bitch. This has strings on it that are elixirs, but they're a couple of years old. The frets are all really manky. It needs a clean up. It does have an incredibly expensive BC Rich pickup in the neck and a DiMarzio in the bridge. And it's this colour. Actually, one of the reasons I didn't put it on is I thought it maybe clashed with the t-shirt, but it's quite a different shade of pink. This is it's still a relatively manly pink. It's not like a girly pink, but this guitar is not. That's super manly pink. What's that? It's a hair. That's all right. Do I want to put that around there? Probably not. I will. That's sort of in tune. So it must have been a similar temperature when I put it in the attic. Hoofter. Now I wish I'd put the BC Rich back in the hole. Yeah, so check this out, ridiculous thing. That headstock, it's quite different, but I like it. It's oversized. This is a 1983. This is actually a bolt-on neck guitar, which most of them aren't. But it's only got a really wee neck plate. I'm realizing now that one of the reasons I didn't actually pick it up was because the strap likes to fall off, which isn't the best thing for being drunk. I can see Worf playing that guitar. Yes! 83. There were Klingons. Were the modern Klingons out yet? When did the modern Klingons come out? When they decided they had the plastic stuff in their head? So do you remember the original Klingons were basically had a moustache and wore a chainmail shirt, but were basically human? It wasn't until later on that they started having all this stuff on them. DiMarzio, Seymour Duncan. Sounds exactly the same, right? I do like this guitar though. This one was originally designed And everyone's seen my Washburn 8-string bass. So the reason this guitar was a design without this bit, but this bit is to take tuners, so you can have other, like a 12-string or a 10-string version they did make. And I think that it was originally meant to be a 12-string. So you had 6 tuners that went along this line here that went the other direction. So you had 6 tuners here for the thin strings, was the original plan for this shape. But I quite dig it. There was a time manly pink, I think it's manly pink. It is, yes, but it's shocking pink. I mean, one of my favorite. I used to have a BC Rich box. I never had a BC Rich guitar, but for some reason I bought a guitar that had a BC Rich box, and it used to be in my bathroom in my last house, like in the corner. Didn't know where else to put the box, and it was BC Rich, and it was built to rock, shaped to shock. I thought, that's a good tag. I like that. They should still have that. I don't think they use it anymore. Oh, what if they were passed the rank of Klingon Boy Scout? Yeah. Search for Spock. He did, because it was Christopher Lloyd. I watched I didn't watch actually starting to search for Spock recently, but yes, you're right. Was that the first time they appeared? That might have been the first time they appeared with when they like that, rather than, because there's obviously that fake. What's the episode that you always get to see? Was the what was the episode? The Trouble with Tribbles one, the one with the wee furry things, which is a sort of comedy episode in Star Trek, and it's got the bit where Scotty gets into a fight, and they're sitting there. The Klingons are, I can't remember. They're doing some. They're sitting in this sort of bar bit of the Enterprise, and as the Klingons are going, yeah, bunch of slackers and all that, and Scotty's like that with his engineering crew, and they're like, sit down, lads. Your captain's a big girl. He's like, can't do anything. The engineering crew, we're going to go and fight them. And Scotty's like, no. And then the Klingons like, up here, try to start a fight and fail. And he's like, up here, yeah. This ship's not suitable for hauling garbage. And you can see Scotty go, sit down, lads. Up here. So the Klingons up here. Sorry, I didn't mean suitable for hauling garbage. I meant it should be hauled away as garbage, and that was enough for Scotty to go and fight him. But he was just he was actually Balkov, as from Battlestar Galactica. Yeah, I'll stop talking about 80s sci-fi from a kid. Were BC Rich expensive in the 80s? Real BC Rich, well, I think this is around about the first time. This is the NJ series, which you still get, but NJ used to stand for Nagoya, Japan, and then round about not many years after, but 86, 87, they changed it to, they opened up a PO box, like an trading office in New Jersey. So when you buy an NJ series after 1986 or something, it's a pure NJ series, but it says on the neck plate, BC Rich, USA, PO box, blah, 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 New Jersey. Oh, so it's made in America? No. Made in Korea. It's really cheap. But it doesn't say made in America on it. Just because it says America on the, that's just where our offices are. It's not where, so they kind of got around it that way, because the Japanese were, these were too expensive to make, I think. But I have to say that the difference between the Japanese NJ series and every other BC Rich I've played is this much. And I'm including one that I remember having a shot of the one that looks like Slash's one. Through Neck Mockingbird had all the switches on it. And it was, I think it was £900 reduced to £700. And I remember trying it in the shop. And at the time, I've got my NJ series Mockingbird, and it was nothing compared to, it's like pure, here's a Harley Benton Stratocaster or an American Stratocaster. It was that level of difference. And even the ones I've had, see the ones from the late 80s, they look amazing, but they're nothing like these. So the ones I've kept are the ones that are, they're just on a different level. For me, Star Trek is the best sci-fi ever. Planet of the Apes comes in a close second. Planet of the Apes, no, I don't think so. Ponty Next Gen original. It's like Pontiac's next original, obviously. There's points for it being original. Best sci-fi ever is Blake 7. I'm afraid. I mean, I remember seeing an interview with who who was it from Blake 7? And they were talking to, they were at some convention thing, and it wasn't William Shatner, I think it was Scotty they were talking to, and they were like, pure, after I saw Blake 7, it's pure amazing. Because everyone in it, it's like, they should fucking put Blake 7 back on. They should not, maybe don't remake it, but basically somehow make it look less cheap. But Blake 7 is fucking amazing. Lieutenant Uhuru. Actually, a story about watching thing about Lieutenant Uhuru. She was like, after the first 2 seasons or something like that, she was fed up with it. Something I don't really understand now. I mean, I can understand it, but personally, it doesn't really. I don't get it. But she, after season 1 or season 2 or something, she handed in a resignation to Gene Roddenberry, and Gene Roddenberry's like, "Up here, right? We're going on a 4-month break before filming starts. Here's my resignation." Gene Roddenberry was like, "Up here, no, you can't go." She's like, "No, I'm not getting. I can do better than this." No. Gene Roddenberry's like, "I tell you what, right? I've got your resignation, right? I'm putting it in this bottom drawer, right? If you come back, I'll just rip it up." And she was at a thing a few weeks later. She was at some sort of, was it a concert or something? And someone came up to her and was like, "Up here, yeah, Mr. King would like to see you." And she's like, "Who?" "Martin Luther King." And she was like, so she went up to meet Martin Luther King, and he's like, "Up here, oh, Lieutenant Uhuru, big hug, fucking amazing what you're doing for," it's like, because she was actually in it as a proper person, not as a black person. She was just happened to be black, but she was, the main officer, or the bridge officer and stuff like that. And she was like, "Up here, I'll quit that." And Martin Luther King's like, "No, you're not. No, you don't know what you've done for our people. No." And she was like, pure, "Oh, what? I watch it every week." And it's like so many, pure huge. So she basically went back to Gene Roddenberry and went, "Hi, Gene." And Gene went like that, pulled the contract, her resignation letter out the drawer and went, He went, "Yeah." And then that's why she was back in it. Tell folk I named my boy after my papa, but actually it was after Will Riker. Do you sit down on chairs like this and sit on it backwards? I don't know. I think it was. I never noticed it at the time, but I think I've seen it on YouTube. Whenever Will Riker comes in to sit, like there's folks sitting around the conference table, and he kind of. Oh my god, my legs hurt from doing that paintballing. But yeah, he kind of sits over the tops of chairs and stuff like that. It's quite funny. Klingon caster. I wouldn't turn this into it, but I have had a thought of making a Klingon bird of prey is? The green spaceship. That, but a guitar. And then I saw there's a Kramer, which isn't a Klingon bird of prey, but it kind of looks a bit like one. But I quite fancy that. Aye, cheers, Tom. Spike the likes. Aye, 25. Give us some likes. It doesn't cost any money. Do that. Name your boy after Will Riker. Well, fair enough. "Hey, Boss Hawk, how's it going?" "Damn it, Ponty, I'm not a doctor." "Yeah, that's great." Uhuru was gorgeous. Yeah, totally. I think they pushed Uhuru a lot. What was the film? One of the later on, was it Star Trek 6 or 7 or something like that? I remember. I think I might have seen that in the cinema actually, in the MGM cinema in Glasgow. And there's a bit where this is like she's in her 60s at this point, maybe. And there's a bit where they're trying to attract. They're on some planet. I have no idea what the story was. On some planet thing, and there's like an outpost of baddies, half a dozen baddies in a campment thing. Like we're going to try and lure them out. So she kind of stands up with the moonlight behind her, and she's wearing like quite a sexy dress, doing this dancing and all. And they're all going up here. "Oh, it's a goddess!" And pure going out and all. And when they get up closer, they're like pure, "Ah!" Yeah. But it was good. I like the original Star Trek. Obviously, Wrath of Khan. I've even got a Wrath of. In fact, can I reach it? Will it come off the wall? But I don't think I'll be able to put it back up again. My wee brother was going to throw this out when he moved out. And I was like, "You're not throwing that out. This is, here you go, what about that?" As the entirety of Wrath of Khan in one picture. That's it. That's the whole film. You don't need any more than that. Yeah, I do like that. It's actually gone quite yellow just because I'm smoking in here all the time. I think that's class. It used to still be up there until I started putting guitars on the wall. Right, I'm not going to be able to put that back up there though, Hammer. The only reason I mentioned that, it's funny, someone mentioned that the other day when they were in, I like your Wrath of Khan thing. I was like, I totally forgot it was there. The Next Generation outtakes are gold. I'm sure they are. Yes, I keep seeing that. There's a meme that's always there, and it's like Riker and Captain Picard sitting, and there's like one picture of them just sitting at a table, and the second one is Captain Picard's like that. And what was it? The tag I really liked on it. And there's that up here. Picard's like up here. Yeah, I've got this obsession with collecting Beatles albums. I just can't stop. And Riker's like up here. You need help. And then Picard's like up here. No, I've got that one. Yeah, or the other way around, whatever it was. I quite like that though. All the odd Star Trek films are bad, but the even numbers are good. Facts. Yes, I know one of them doesn't fit into that category, and I can't remember which one it is. The even, actually, I never really liked the one where they go to Earth on the whales. That one's a bit shit, but I like the one with relatively recently, in the last 10 years, I remember seeing it just because it was on telly, and it was like, I really fucking enjoyed it. The one with Christopher Plummer as a Klingon in it, where he keeps quoting Shakespeare, but he's so obviously absolutely loving doing it because he's fucking dressed up as a proper Klingon, and he's got like an eye patch with bolts in it and all the makeup on, and dressed like a Klingon warrior. And he keeps going on. He keeps quoting Shakespeare and going that up here, yeah, because that's obviously Shakespeare wasn't human. He was a Klingon. It was great. First use to the actual Chekhov, actual beat word for Chekhov. Possibly, yes. My favourite Star Trek is when he ends up in cowboys in a gunfight. I don't know if I remember that. That's not what I got. See, when COVID hit, I had Netflix off my pal at that point, and I just basically sat down at the start of COVID and watched The Next Generation. Start to finish, with a bit of a slog at bits. First couple of seasons are a bit dodgy, but there's actually some really good ones. It's because every time, whenever it was on telly, it always seems to be the same couple of episodes that chopped up. I don't know if I never saw it in whole chunks. It was just like on that episode. I don't even know if I've got a favourite episode of Star Trek. Not very guitar-y though, is it? I do actually have there's an episode where Spock's playing a Klingon instrument. It's got like a wheel on it. It's sort of guitar based. My pal made one of them, but he couldn't work out how to put strings on it, and I've still got it. But it kind of looks like whatever the thing is. The sound is overdubbed some sort of sitar, but it's like Cats are four lights. That's Mr. Aye, that's awesome. That is next generation because it's Picard. Yes, I mean that's that shit. The thing is, that was what was always a bit surprising when I was watching it, working my way through it on Netflix. Some episodes you're sitting there and you're halfway through the episode, and suddenly it dawns on you like, this is really fucking good. There's quite a lot of really shit episodes that are pure embarrassing, and it's like, no. I tried watching Star Trek the other night. It's pure terrible. Like, pure, oh no, I'm sorry. It's like, no, I think it's really good. So what episode you watching? There's one, I think it's one of the early ones where it's like, it's fucking, there's some of them are pure terrible. I don't even know if I've ever seen all of the original series, I'll be honest. I maybe need to start looking at it. 4 lights, Mr. Whitesnake. Yes, I know, that's what he said. There are 4 lights. Even though Riker was a jazz man. A lot of concerts. I've seen a YouTube thing and that people talking about the next generation. There's a guy going up here summarizing. It's like pure, my God, there's a lot of concerts, and it just shows you there are 20 different. Okay, there's, I don't know how many episodes there are. They're not like 15 or 20 a season, so there's like 6 seasons or something. So there's a lot of episodes, but there are 20 individual situations where they're having a concert on the Enterprise. Yeah, a bit weird. They never had rock music didn't seem to survive until that time. Although I do remember, what was the film? It wasn't a film. There used to be a PC game my wee brother had, or was it mine? Wing Commander something 4 or something like that. And Mark Hamill was in it. And it was just, this is at the era when it must have been on CD-ROM. So you could get really low quality video footage, but there was actually kind of a film running along with it. Mark Hamill was the main character, and Biff from Back to the Future was the sort of the baddie, but not the baddie, but he was like the bit of an arsehole who's in the squad. And there was another guy, and there's a bit at the very start, and they're sitting there, and they're sitting in the canteen, and the guy's playing an Epiphone SG, got an Epiphone, a Gibson SG Junior, and he's sitting there, he's playing away on it. It's like, yeah, this thing's 160 years old, but still beautiful. And like, yeah, I kind of like that idea where something like a Gibson SG or this could be what in the future. You know what I mean? 4 candles. Yeah, I know the 4 candles. Of course I do. Yes, but that's just the punchline. There's like, that pair, you got a plug. That pair, yeah, plug. And he's like, that pair, yeah, totally. What size? He's got a box of plugs. He's like, a wee one for a sink, a big one for a bath. What size? 13 amp. Right, yeah. Handles for forks. Yes, no, there's some. I kind of remember the 2 Ronnies being on TV. I just don't think I understood it. There's one where they do Mastermind, and what they do is they answer the question before the one that's answered or the one that's after. So it's like, it's fucking hilarious. Yes, no, the 2 Ronnies, some of that stuff's ridiculously funny. I need to start watching it again, actually. I bet you one of the reasons it's not big now, I bet you there's racist stuff in it, or stuff that would now be considered racist or homophobic or something. It was just meant to be funny, but now you can't do that. You know, it just pure ruins it all when you get, you know, someone, you know, one of them's maybe blacked up and goes, oh, you're like, pure, you can't put that on TV. Oh, ban it. You know, it's like, I know now you couldn't do it now, but I mean, that wasn't really what it was meant. You know, you got to look at intention. There's a difference about somebody insulting you when it was just an accident. Is very different from someone who intentionally insults you, I think. Anyway, maybe it doesn't feel that way when you're doing it. We're getting quite Star Trek-y. Let's talk about fucking guitars. Talk about BC Rich. Do you know that this model of guitar they had to discontinue? In fact, they changed the name of it because there was like 3 or 4 states in America that wouldn't sell a BC Rich bitch. Well, Rich. It's like the BICH is what this model's called. They changed it to a BC or something like that because there was entire states in America that just would not stock it because it was called a bitch. And it's like, it's kind of funny because it's a BC Rich bitch. You can't just call a guitar a bitch, but it's not as BICH. So how you pronounce that's up to you. But yeah, Bottom. I was talking to someone at the Bottom the other night. Bottom is not brilliant all the way through, but there's an episode. If you've never seen it, look up the one. Something about a gas man. I think it might be just be called The Gas Man, and make sure you don't need the toilet before you watch it because you will piss yourself. It's so fucking funny. Oh. I mean, I really, Bottom is fucking, some of it, not all of it. The live shows are on YouTube, and they're brilliant. Rick and Bob are fantastic. It's awkward to DIY start looking for a female rectable. I don't know what a rectable is, but it is a wee bit strange. I'm not surprised that they discontinued it as well. Rank, missed out there. What, Bottom or Red Dwarf? Again, I don't even remember. Red Dwarf, I remember getting that put down as being racist at some point. It was like, it was like there was some interview. And it was like they were sitting there like that, yeah. And it's like you couldn't. There was a bit where was it Lister and the cat were getting. There was another. I can't even remember what the fuck. There was a bit where they were getting fucking taken over by an alien race and they were making them mop the floors. And it's like you can't have that. And it's like it never even twigged to me until I saw that documentary. That it's like, yeah, so basically there's 4 people in Red Dwarf. There's like Crichton, Rimmer, and Lister and Cat. So it's like half black. The main character's black. You're like, well, sorry, it is. Make any difference? And the cat's black as well. It didn't make any difference. So you could they started becoming in with this shit. You're like, oh, for fuck's sake, kids! I don't think about these things. Just because it didn't matter. It's the same thing was it comes in with the pure when you start putting female lead characters in Star Wars and stuff like that. You're like, pure, right? Aye, okay. But it's very obvious, and it's like, pure, yeah. But what about aliens? And you're like, aye, so she is. Aye, it doesn't really matter. The reason I didn't think Rey was particularly good in the Star Wars films was not because she was a girl, it's because she was really crappily written and pure super overpowered. If it didn't, if she'd been a guy, it would still have been a shit character. You know what I mean? But it's like we start putting things in. The 2 Roys on a spoof of Status Quo. I've seen it, yes. I think I saw it because Francis Rossi commented on it, yes. I can't remember what it is. It's really funny and quite offensive, but not offensive. It's an honour thing. Same with the Bee Gees as well. Morris Gibb. I've seen an interview with him and they're talking about Kenny Everett did a thing where it was like, I think it was a split screen thing where it was 3 Kenny Everetts with the fake teeth and he had the bad haircuts and the hairy chest and all that, 3 of them. Up here, right, sing. Right, sing a song. Up here, right. helium tablets. So they all take helium tablets. And it's like, ah! Another helium tablet. They take it. They go, oh, we are children. And it's like, apparently, Maurice Gibb literally almost pissed himself and had to hang up when he saw it because he just couldn't believe how funny it was. That's him taking the piss out of him, but in a funny way. My mate's mastermind lad's chosen subject was the Marrick Street Preachers. And all he shouted was, "Where's Richie?" I don't get that joke. Patrick Stewart plays a sci-fi Chapman stick in Dune, right? Does Dune? I couldn't believe I didn't see Dune until after I read the book. I think when I got the DVD, and I knew it was all a pure flop and it was meant to be pure terrible. And watching the first half, it's fucking amazing. Why are people saying this is terrible? And then the last 15 minutes, it becomes like a voiceover, and it's like the pure right. That's us. We're 90% through the filming schedule, and they've gone, but we've only done a quarter of the script. Just ram it all in, and it's like, so the first half of the original Dune is fucking great. It's got amazing music and everything, and then suddenly it's like they've got to a point where it's like the film should have been 5 hours long, kind of thing, and they got to an hour and a half in and went, oh shit, we still get 4 hours to do. Just do that in the last 20 minutes. Voiceover, just shit going on. It's terrible, but I do like that. But I didn't really play the Chapman stick. It's not called a balisette. That's another book. That's a magician book. I read them as well. Sorry, I know Tommy asked if there was I meant electric shock off the thingy. The answer is, if your amp is good, no, you can't get an electric shock off a guitar. That's where it comes down to. I don't want to be quoted as saying that, because in theory, inside your amp, right, there's a power lead there, right? So it is possible that it's had a knock and the actual voltage power lead, that's the 240 volts, has landed on the input socket. So it's got 240 volts going through it. Therefore, yes, you can get electrocuted if that happened. If you're using a battery amp, for example, like a 9-volt thing, no, you can't get an electric shock. There's no current going through a guitar. Well, when there is, it's millivolts. It's not well short of. There's nothing. I mean, you basically, not that I would advise doing it, but when like right now, I could take the back cover off this and lick the components. There'd be nothing, because I know I'm not getting a shock off that amp. The difference is, as long as the amp's solid, because it is technically possible that the amp is live. And the thing about people getting electrocuted was to do with different phasings of power supplies. So because there's such a big PA, they had the big PA on a different phase, so it was out of phase of the guitar amps. So therefore, that's how people got electrocuted on stage. You don't get that these days. Even now, if like circuit breakers, even if you did fuck it up, you're not going to get chucked off. Will the cable burn out first? I don't think so. I mean, but in a modern house, the circuit breaker is going to blow anyway. But yes, yeah. I think if you put 240 volts through a guitar cable, you're still going to get a fucking shock from it. Yes. It's just that there's nothing. I have no idea what the voltage is, but it's nothing. It's like 0.01 of a volt or something like that. Dwayne Dibley, yeah. A wee bit late for me, Dwayne Dibley. Alex Harvey's brother, Les, was executed on stage. Yeah, that's because of poor power circuits. You got to remember, it's like, not all the power circuits, okay, that might have been in the 60s or something like that, but the thing is, in the 60s, it might have had this, they're playing at old ballrooms and shit like that. So that maybe the electrics were done in the 20s for that. It's quite feasible now. I mean, you can go somewhere and there's 40-year-old electrics, electrics from the 80s and stuff. It's possible, like in old venues, because these places were not, they're not exactly classy establishments. They were shitholes. So yes, it's possible. It's not going to happen these days. So I don't know when the last time somebody got electrocuted on stage. But it used to be an issue. There was also an issue with like in America. You still don't have an earth thing, do you? You still don't have you still get 2-prong plugs. You don't want that. You know what I mean? So you've got our plugs. I don't know if you might even know this if you're freaking American. So did I. Yeah. That's what our plugs look like. So you've got the 2 plugs that you've got in America. Bang, bang. In and out. Earth. That's a better design. Not being racist or anything like that, but that is better than the shitty 2-prong plug because it's got an earth on it. Also, see if you look at the fact that the earth's longer. See on the actual socket, there's a wee lever behind this, so that you have to push it in, and when the earth goes in, it lifts up a wee door which lets the other two in. Yeah, that. I don't know why I've never changed. Well, it was bizarre. See, when I was in China, they had sockets on the wall that were literally just, it looked like a normal socket. It had these 3 prongs, right? And it also had the 2 American ones, and it also had 3 circular ones, so you could just put any one of 3 different plugs into it. Fuck knows what they weren't 240 volts, they were 110 or something. I know this because I used a converter thing. I bought a soldering iron when I was in China to rewire a guitar, and I had it plugged into an extension socket. And at the time, I didn't realize that the extension socket was like a ramped up transformer to run a wee Fender 10 watt amp. It put it from 110 volts to 240 or something, so you could run the Fender amp. And I had the soldering iron plugged in. This starts looking like going up here, and the thing was glowing hot like Conan's sword. So I mean, I did the soldering, but it was literally pure. Turn it on, 1, 2, 3, red hots. Turn it off. But I think if I plugged it in 110 volts, it would probably been all right. I was just thinking they've got no safety. I mean, this thing cost. I can't remember. It was 25 pence or £2.50. Something. I think it was 25 pence. This soldering iron cost in real terms. Ridiculous. Craig Charles told me to fuck off in Prestwick Airport because I called him a smeghead. You were 12. That sounds pretty shit. That I bet you that was old Craig Charles. I bet you that was in the 80s. I think he was a bit of a drinker and stuff like that at the time. I think if you said it to him now, he would love it. I think Craig Charles is all right. He's quite funny. Usually the strings that get you through a mic. It's something to do with the phasing. You know, you get like a 3-phase power supply and all that. As long as you run everything off the same phase, you can touch them together. I used to have a similar thing in my. You do occasionally get like it's really difficult to sing like into an SM58 when there's a. I'm not talking about high voltage. It's probably only a very small amount. But you're sort of singing away and then your lips touch it. It's like an electric shock. It's really difficult to sing into one of them. Done it before. With practice. The Brill building in town used to have a room that had that. I don't know what it was. Maybe a different phase on the plugged into a different one from the amp. Because obviously you're standing there and you're holding whatever current is on this, and then if it's coming from a slightly other power supply, another source, there might be a voltage difference of a few volts, 10 volts or whatever. And obviously 9 volts is enough to buzz your tongue, you know, when you're checking to see if a 9-volt battery works. So that kind of thing, not lethal, but really distracting when you're trying to sing. You're it's very difficult. The balisette. Do they call it a balisette? I'm sure it's called a balisette in Magician. Does he? No, maybe he does play it, and maybe I'm getting it mixed up. Maybe he does actually play it in the book, June. There's a good difference of YouTube where you get to see more of his performance with it. I'm sure there's lots of shit left over from Jin. I think who was it? David Lynch was the director, but he's not actually. His name isn't on it. He just didn't want anything to do with it because he'd spent too much money and all that. And the thing about June is, it's like I wish they just finished it properly. There was a TV series I remember watching in the early 2000s, and I watched the new film. Neither of them are as good as the original, but the original's just got that thing where it's a 2-hour film, so the first hour is just a proper classic, and then it goes to shit really quickly. It just ended. It's Scott coming round for another jam. Well, let's be said, if there's a knock on the door at Scott, I was 100%. I had no idea when he turned up like 3 weeks ago or something. I had no idea who that was at the door. Completely unrehearsed. You probably saw that anyway. But it's possible he'll pop in because I know he's out for dinner with Jen tonight or something. So it's possible he might bypass me on his way home. It's possible. I don't know. He's not talking just now, so maybe it's his big surprise. He did turn up with a couple of guitars as well. That one that was full of mud. Oh god. No electricity in this one. Now, so and another question just answered there. No, you can't get enough pressure on your tongue to fret a note. It can't be done. It's got no. If it does come, he won't announce it. No. Where's the fun in that? These strings are really, really metal tasting. Oh, but he's went quiet on here. It's possible, yeah. Oh, it does come around. It'd be awesome. No, the other thing that comes out with the live streaming is it's kind of a bit. I maybe have to move the camera or I can. I don't trust myself enough to be able to switch to the camera that I use for video calls on top of it, and I use for doing the pedal videos and shit. I don't know. I don't trust myself to be able to work out to do that without losing the stream. But I could easily take that one off and put it down there. Should be fun. Actually, I've even played. This guitar sounds phenomenal in the studio through through the Softtech, because at one point we did "Lick It Up" by Kiss in Cranking House. Lick it up, lick it up, which is such a hard song to play. It's so hard because it's really, really the same. So you've got like, I don't know, 16, 32, 64 bars of, and then the other bit is it's so difficult to play because it's so hard to just try and fucking counting. This is what I've let. I don't know if I've announced I'm no longer in the band Cranking House. Was split up because I just couldn't deal with the county thing. I need to be able to play something I can hear, something I can hum. So if you're playing 4 bars of A, so that's 2. See what I did there was I went, and after 1 I went, and then after 2 I went, and back to the A. And therefore, I only had to count that once. So I just have to do that twice, and that's 4, which works better if you're doing 16 bars of it. That's fine. But see when it's just... No idea how many I've done. And that's kind of what they kind of wanted to do. And I find it really, really difficult. Very easy to actually physically play the notes, but impossible to fucking remember where you are. So I was like, when I'm playing the bass as well, I would always say just playing like a bass line in E. It's just E. There's 4, nice and easy. Whereas if you're just going, fucking lost. Oh, Children of the Grahams had played it wrong. What was I playing wrong? Kiss? Was it not? Was it different chords? I can't remember. I couldn't remember because it's not hummable. There's a difference between, I can play, even when I started playing the guitar, I found it much easier to play some things that were maybe a bit difficult because I can hum it. I know where I am. It's the counting thing where you've just got to play 8 bars of the same thing. It's really difficult. That's why I think if you're jamming in a band, it's really important that after every 4 bars, there's a wee or something just to break it up. You can't just play 16 bars of just straight. It's got to be a bar at the end, every 1 bar, every 2 bars, every 4 bars. Something to make so you can count where you are. It's just A, G, and D. It's A then. I think I was only playing A, G, and D. Is it not D? Definitely D and A though. Oh. Under the back label. Oh, you're drinking faster than I am. I'm doing well. I'm trying to savor it. I'm not. I've never heard of the when you say, do you mean under the top of the back label? That's exactly where I am. If you're talking about, you say, you mean there. So yeah, you're drinking at an acceptable rate. AGED, that's me. Very good. Is there a song there? Is there a song in AGED? Could the drummer not put a wee fill in at the end of every 4 bars? That would have been lovely. Or see when it's going to go to the chorus, just before it goes to the chorus, so you got your A, come up to the chorus, just a wee biddly bump, anything rather than being bum ch, bum ch, bum ch. Now the chorus ch, bum ch. Something. The thing is, even if you can count it, if the drummer and the bass player and the guitarist, you're all kind of aware, so it gets to the end, even if just a wee, just something, so that you know. I'm pretty sure we're on 4 here. Oh, the bass player and the drummer just kind of went at the end of it. Yes, know exactly where that's great for the solo. Whereas, especially when you're playing solos, I really struggle with the solos because I'm kind of having to count. They're once in a while, have to go down 1, 2, 3, and the bass player and the drummer are just basically like a drum machine. Really difficult. Oh, but yes, and a wee fill at the end. I don't know enough about how to play the drums. So just like sometimes you get. I mean, that was a great, lovely guy. I just think that was a problem with Crankhouse. I really liked the folk in the band. They were all really nice guys, and I got on really well with them. It's just a musical thing was like a different approach. I wasn't coming down from, see if you learn something from a book, it's different from when you work out yourself. Because if you learn it from the book, you have to play what's in the book. Whereas if you learn it yourself and you've worked out yourself, you don't have to remember what was in the book because you've already learned it. And you can suddenly start going, oh, double that bit, a wee bit of there, and it becomes much more thingy. I saw a guy play the same 4 bars, a call and answer. Yes! That's like what I would do in the bass. I'm not playing the bass, but it's like if I was just rocking on D. Just that. It doesn't have to be really complicated. Something to try and up. So you get the first one ends with. It's so much easier to know where you are than someone who's just going. I've already lost count. Counting, that's not rock. Yes, not rock and roll. Counting, no. I agree. Partly because I don't. I think I don't enjoy counting shit. Do you know what I mean? I want to be able to hear it, and it's like the whole idea of, I don't know, the jamming thing. I'm looking for it. Is anyone a drummer and a bass player? Want to start a 3-piece band? I'm going to try and hope none of them watch this. I'm going to try and get the Black Sabbath drummer Alan, who's fucking really good. I quite fancy doing something with him. Just when I'm playing the guitar, secondary to the Black Sabbath band. First time I met him, he was wearing a Budgie t-shirt. Budgie t-shirt. Oh yeah. So I quite fancy playing some Budgie, and I think I might even have a go singing myself. Because we were in the studio, was it 3-4 weeks ago or something like that, and we're trying some new songs, and I wrote out words for some of the songs because the singer couldn't make it, but it's like we had to go to we had to pay for the studio. I was like, we'll go in and try and learn some new stuff, and I was singing. I was really enjoying it. Struggling a little bit at bits, but it was my first attempt playing, like Fairies Wear Boots and shit like that, but singing and playing the bass, and I can sort of do it within reason. After a couple, that was first go at singing and playing the bass. There's bits where you have to concentrate. A lot of it's dead easy, and then sometimes you get back and go, oh, the bass and the singing aren't doing exactly the same thing. It's a little bit harder, but I quite fancy being a singer. The problem with being a singer is you've got to remember words. I do keep seeing bands that have got their phone. You get I think even some of the studios have got like a clip on the mic stand for putting your phone for the lyrics, and I can sort of get it if it's a new song or something like that. But see if you're going to a gig and the singer has got the entire set in words on their phone. You're like, hey man, all you're doing in this song is singing, mate. Learn the fucking words. It's all right to have, cheat sheets for the new song or something, but don't just have the words there. I'm eating Golden Wonder spring onion crisps. Remember those bad boys? I think I might even remember when they came out, the spring onion light green packet. I don't know what's happened to Walker's crisps. Anyone else remember when Walker's crisps came out? You never got Walker's crisps when I was a kid. It was Golden Wonder crisps and salt and vinegar. Were light blue. Ready salted were dark blue. Cheese and onion, green. The law. And then out comes Walkers, and they had adverts going, oh, this is the Walkers in the 20s and stuff. We never got fucking... It's like, oh, now, ready, salt and vinegar are now light green. Like, what? Cheese and onion are blue? What? Fucking ready salted are red? Fuck off. Maybe ready salted. Yeah, no, I was... I think Gold Wonder used to be Scottish. I think they were made in Queensferry for some reason. I don't know why I think that. I think they were taken over by Highlander crisps, which have gone now as well. We're guitarist, we speak drummer, do data, yes, but that's actually the thing. I know we're playing covers, but it's very different in a Sabbath band because I play the bass, Craig plays the guitar, Alan does the drums, Brian does the singing. It's totally okay to suggest things. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't mind that. I could say you're playing the bass bit there. It's like, see that bit just before the break? Is that, okay, that's fine. And vice versa, all the way around. But very rarely does that happen. It's really, I'm the bass player. I know this. I'm pointing at a bass. I'm doing the bass. I'm the best bass player in the band. So although people can go, oh, that's not right, that's totally fine. And the same with the drums. I can say to the drummer, I've never done it. Years up here, yeah, I don't know what he's doing, but I understand it, and it's right because they know their instrument. And the same with the guitarist. I mean, although I think Craig's a better guitarist than I am, but I understand what he's doing. It's not pure, no idea what you're doing there, mate. Yeah, I could do it. I need to practice it, and he's really fucking good. But I said I'm a Mad Sabbath fan. It wasn't really like that in Crankin House. It was kind of like more of a sort of... it was really, really difficult. Cowbell. Malcolm Young was the timing expert. He deserves more respect. I think, see, if you ever try and play the Malcolm Young parts in AC/DC songs, then you really realise he's fucking... The two of them working together, Malcolm and Angus together, even without any of the rest of the band, they're so on it. It's ridiculous. Now, Malcolm Young is a fantastic guitarist. Absolutely phenomenal. It was not a case, I think, the way it went was, I think Malcolm was probably a better guitarist than Angus, but Angus maybe couldn't do what Malcolm did because it's really weird calling someone else called Malcolm because that's my name. Yeah, no, Malcolm, there's a definite skill to rhythm guitar, and it's not easier. It's the same thing happens with the bass. You know, it's like three guitarists start a band, and the one who can't really play very well plays the bass. No, be like me and Paul McCartney. Three guitarists start a band. The other two guys aren't good enough to play the bass, so I played the bass. Is how that happened. Same with Paul McCartney. Maybe they were intentionally shit when we were sharing the bass duties. The first time we went into the studio, the three of us took turns on the bass because we all played the guitar, and I was the only one that could fucking play the bass. So that's... Even though I'd never played the bass before ever, that was my thing. It was great. Put your ring finger. I don't know. Is that one? I don't even know what the ring finger is. I don't have any rings. 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2. A canny bag of Tudor. I remember that. Tudor crisps. I remember Tudor crisps. I remember they started coming in with crazy flavours when I was at high school. In the tuck shop, they came in with... What were the crazy flavours? Probably not that crazy these days. There was a chicken curry you didn't get chicken crisps when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I think you basically got the entire range of crisps was salt and vinegar, cheese and onion, and ready salted. And then later on, other ones came in. And I think it was Tudor came in with tomato sauce flavour, which I never really liked, and chicken something and all that. It's ridiculous. Hedgehog flavoured crisps. I know. I don't remember them being... I remember there actually being a hedgehog flavoured crisps brand, and you could get like a multi-pack. So there was hedgehog flavour and then hedgehog salt and vinegar and hedgehog cheese and onion or something like that. I admit that was definitely my era. Tato. Tato's a great name for a Tata. Hey, what's the last thing bass player says in the band? Hey guys, want to do one of our songs? Oh, there you go. Possibly, yes. But the thing is, you'd at least expect. They're not watching. But the thing that happened in Cranking House is that the bass player wrote some songs. Happy Hours, I got a new song. I'll do play it, and then he would come over and borrow my guitar. And you're like, right, and then he would be like, on a BC Rich. But not like that. So when we actually started playing the song, I had to play that. And if I didn't play it exactly like that, instead I went, no, not like that. And that was what I had to play with. And it was like really difficult. I don't like bitching about it. I love the guy, just wasn't very good on the bass. And had got to the point once you start getting to our age. I've been playing the bass for 30 years. I'm not going to fucking learn anything new now. Really? I was talking about this earlier on with folk. It's like there are folk definitely, even up into their 60s and all that learned how to play half a dozen songs when they were 16, and that's still all they can play. I don't understand that. I'm never happy with what I've played. Even songs that I have been able to play since I started playing the guitar, 18 or whatever like that. I'm better at it now. I'm not playing it the same as I was there. I remember the chord smell, but now I'm like, oh, this is the first time I've played this in 20 years. Or there's an extra bit there. And I'm thinking about it and jamming it. Hamster and Dandelion. Not Dandelion and Burdock. Oh. Tato sounds like a cover band with that song, Africa. Yes. I remember working that out, actually. I used to be playing the bass. I remember I absolutely blown my wee brother's brain with that. He's not mad into Andrew, my youngest brother. He's 5 years younger than me. The middle brother. He's like kind of obviously into sort of film music and stuff like that. Not really that mad into music. I was up here. I can't remember what the situation was. I was up here. This song. It was up here. Dun 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 dun. It was up here. This song. Is up here. Right. This bit. Do you want to let me take you back away? And he was like, up here. Whoa, what that is up here? Yeah. So he's totally on the same wavelength as me. He's just never really got into music, but hit him with something like that. That drum bit. It's like just like, and then obviously the classic line, just like Kilimanjaro rises like an empress above the Serengeti. Dun 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 dun. Yeah. Not a huge fan of Toto, to be fair. I do really, really like Africa. But a Metallica one, it should have been Lars. All right, as opposed to Cliff Burton. Yeah, I don't know. I'm actually going to see Metallica twice this year. They're playing at Download Festival on the Thursday night and on the Saturday night. So, never seen Metallica. To be honest, there's not really any bands I want to see at Download at all. I don't think there's any. I think it's the first time there's never been any, but we don't know. What was the one? There's a few that I've seen there. I don't really think it was Andrew WK. You ever heard of him? Can't remember. I can't remember. But Andrew WK's got some fucking great songs. All his songs on the album, which I bought when I came home, were all about partying. But he did a great thing. I was up here. Was already loving it. The band were a total random assortment of people. It was like the guitarist was like Mexican or something, wearing a football strip, playing a guitar, and then like the bass player was like sort of look like a hobo with a big beard wearing tweed. And you're like, this is just like, we're all wearing a uniform, but all completely different. As in, there's, I don't know, 5 of us or whatever, and we're all going to have a very, very solid look. And it's going to be very obvious that we couldn't be in any other band that's on at this whole festival. We wouldn't fit in. But all 5 of the most weird looking, don't fit into any band things were all in the same band, and that was our thing. So we're all looking like we're very, very committed to a look that's different for the 5 people that are in the 6 people that are in the band, all completely mental. Hey, Mark, you're not the middle kid. You've got that energy ripping at you. I don't know. No, I'm the eldest. Quite far away. I didn't really work out well. So I'm actually say I'm Mad Malcolm, right? So I'm Malcolm. I don't know what I'm named after. I don't know where Malcolm came from. Andrew is the next one. He's 5 years younger than me. And then another 5 years, so 10 years younger than me, is Douglas. And the reason it was Douglas was my mum hadn't yet decided on a name for what they were going to call the third kid. And the, what's the word I'm looking for? The nurse, the midwife. So I'd be what are the other 2 sons called? Like Malcolm and Andrew. Like, it has to be something starting with D, so because you're mad. Hence, that's why his name was either. I had to be Derek or Douglas or Dirk, I suppose. But that's why he's Douglas, so it is Mad. So any Christmas cards that you got from my family and from the I don't know, mid-80s on, it was always said Hazel and Gordon and Mad, and the mum would write Mad, and I had to sign my name Alcom, and Andrew had to do Ndrew, and Douglas had to do Uglas, because that's the way it worked. Quite funny. The salt and vinegar of the earth. Quite like that. The Ronnies were good. Always preferred Morecambe and Wise. Morecambe and Wise are incredibly funny as well. I think I watched a doc. I don't know if it was a documentary, a film, and it was the way it worked out at the very start when they started doing it. They were just like a stand-up act. And it was up here, right? We've got this nailed at some meeting at the start with 2 things, right? You're uptight and annoyed all the time, and I'm lazy, and we're both idiots. That's Morecambe and Wise. Yep, that's it. So it's like, although you're uptight and really worried about doing things, the other one's really lazy, and we're both pure thick as fuck. So that any slagging that goes between, they can laugh at each other and take the piss out of each other, but they're both idiots. That's the thing. If one of them was sensible, doesn't work. Both got to be idiots. Hey, Charlie B, what's the wee red toy you're playing? This is pink. It's only because my t-shirt's red. It looks. This is a fucking BC Rich bitch. And if you don't know what that is, you are not 80s metal. I can't play bass at all. Why not? Buy a bass. Basses are fucking amazing. They're so much fun. See if you can play the guitar. The first time I ever went into the studio was I'd played the bass for less than half an hour before I borrowed the bass and went in the studio with a bass. And I'd been playing for 6 months on the guitar, so I could sort of play lead, sort of, a little bit, really shit lead. That's what a bass is. It's just shit lead. That's it. Fucking great. And you can always hear yourself. Bass is brilliant. Absolutely love it. Get yourself a bass. It's a BC Rich. You should know what a BC Rich bitch looks like. No, you don't have to be a big fan of them. I don't know if there's really any. I don't know really any bands that I really like that actually played BC Riches. Really, you see them popping up. There used to be the thing. See, the first guitar was the Mockingbird, which you'd recognise the shape. Slash played one, and the reason it was called a Mockingbird was because it was one of the first guitars that had coil splits in it and a phase switch. So it had you'd have a mash of switches here. So the Mockingbird thing was an actual mockingbird can mock sounds. That's hence why it's called that. So you often see them in the nature documentaries where they're doing their mating call and it actually sounds exactly the same as a chainsaw because that's what they've heard. They mock the sounds they hear. Or other birds, or I remember seeing one where it was the camera flash thing. So the nature documentary, but like filming this exotic looking mockingbird thing, and it would be sitting there going, making the exact noise of the camera because it just used to hearing that, so that's what it mocked. Hence why it was called a mockingbird. So they were one of the first people ever to have coil splits and that thing are going like that. You've got a mockingbird, it can be a Strat, it can be a Telly, it can be a Les Paul, which wasn't really a thing at the time. Jackie won't celebrate the contribution of the African community. No, yeah, totally. The blues, innit? No, I suppose they had to do. They were carted off to America and then whipped and beaten and owned for years. Then they invented the blues, and I suppose technically all the music I play is the blues, sort of. Although I've seen a video I did fucking yesterday, copyright strike on it for the cover that I played, which is called, I can't even remember, something about a winner or a virgin or something. The last time I did a blues jam, I get done for a Kinks song. It's like, I mean, I don't know how does the copyright thing work? I mean, literally, I was trying to play, because I was playing a Strat with a tube screamer, I'll go kind of be what I think Stevie Ray Vaughan's like. So basically it was... How can that be a cover? It's a song I've never fucking heard. I understand you go up here, oh, you've covered Whole Lot of Love because you've played... But not like just a blues. How does it work with a copyright thing? If you're in a blues band and stealing something, because it's all the fucking same. It's really bizarre. I don't understand how it works. Ten minutes for the live stream, I rolled a couple of fags, so I didn't have to do it live. Great fun. Walker Brothers. I don't remember the Walker Brothers. Saw Homer playing the bass the other day and he rocked it. Oh, bass. Yes, I can imagine. Basses beat tellies. Well, and I can't really argue that. It's like, oh, in your band, do you want to have a Telecaster or a bass? And it's like, well, you need a bass and still got an electric guitar, yeah, just not a telly. Well, obviously, you get a Telecaster bass, which has never really been a thing, really. Buster did actually get a telly bass, which is Telecaster shaped, a Squire or something. That was quite rare. I don't really know why that didn't happen, because obviously the Telecaster was the first. I'm looking now that I'm a really entirely Telecaster, but principles are there. That was the first electric guitar, the first electric Spanish guitar, and then the P bass came out. I don't know, a P bass, but it's kind of sort of like a P bass with a wee bit of a modification. Those two, and then the Strat was the same shape as the P bass because it was kind of like refined. It curved out this bit and made it a bit softer and stuff. That's kind of. But you never really got a Telecaster bass, although they did. There is a Telecaster bass that came out in the early 70s called a Telecaster bass, which has got basically it's a P bass, but it's got a Telecaster style headstock and like an EBO type mudbucker in it. But it's just a P bass with a different shaped scratch plate. It's a fucking P bass. Doesn't count. Got this CB Sky. I jumped up to Glasgow and met it needs frets done in a setup. You fix it or give the petrol money or to take it to North Ayrshire. I'm scared of the CB Sky. Is it a full scale one? Because I've had a couple of CB Skies that I think one of them was a Buckycaster, and honestly, I paid 20 quid for it, sold it for 70 quid or something like that, but I did hundreds of pounds worth of work to it just to make it work. I've started getting a little bit more aware of these things. There's I can make your guitar work. I can, but if it's a pure shiter, which a CB Sky might be, it's way more work than what the guitar's worth at the end. So even if I did it pure super mates rates and charged you half what it should have been, you're basically the best thing to just throw away. Wait, you fallen asleep, Mr. White? Sorry, we're not playing enough BC Rich. Said, message me on Facebook Marketplace and show me, because it might just be a shit. CB Sky obviously don't make guitars, they just stick their name on it, bad, so it might be all right. If it's just like if it's a normal scale one and stuff like that, it might be worth something. I do actually have to go down to Ayrshire to pick up a electric set off my pal Taylor at some point. So I'm down there sort of often. Old Blues Page says the blues came from England. St James Infirmary Fire. It's true. African musicians learned that song from the Appalachian folk musicians. I don't know. I don't know. Where does the blues come in though? Because I mean, I don't like the blues, but there's an argument that every single Stones song is a blues, so I like that. What I don't like is da dun da dun. Is he AC/DC the Jack? Fuck off. I don't like that. I don't even know if I've ever heard the whole song. That's the skipper on the live album or on whatever album it's on. It's on Let There Be Rock. Whatever it is, High Voltage. On that, it's a skip one. Same with Since I've Been Loving You and Led Zeppelin 3. Get that to fuck. I don't like a Midnight Rambler on Hot Rocks. I just don't like the vibe. I don't understand. I mean, I do understand the idea. If you're really sad, you want to listen to really sad music, which will make you feel like you're not the only one that's really sad and down. Huh? If I'm really sad, listen to baby metal. Yeah, and it makes me not sad anymore. That's what I want. I don't want gang. Oh, fuck off. Especially seeing as all those songs seem to be dead long. Since I've Been Loving You, and I fucking don't like it. Don't like it. Night, Mr. White. I've only been on tour. I think go to bed at 10 o'clock. Yeah, big Jesse. But yeah. Bases beat tellies in the zombie apocalypse. Once the body breaks, you still have a big neck to swing. The body's not going to break in a Telecaster. Telecasters will still be going. Of all the guitars that are going to survive, like say, what's the film with Tom Petty in it? The Postman, which is actually a surprisingly really good film with Kevin Costner in it. But I think it did fuck all. I'd never heard of it when I saw it. Tom Petty's in it, and there's like a band set after the apocalypse or whatever it is, 20 years in the future, and the guitarists aren't playing Telecasters, which is unrealistic because that's what they would be playing. Yeah. American music is a hybrid. Everyone learned from everyone. New Orleans jazz, early days, the Italian trumpeter was instrumental. I got it, yeah, totally. Taylor's Kamara, Cam Irvin. That's probably true, yes. You said North Ayrshire. Was that just a wee thing to make it sound like you were closer than you actually were? I don't really know, Irvin. Where is Giffnock near you? Was it up here like a 60s electric set for a tenner that I keep thinking, I can fancy that because it's got a really tight turn on it. With no cars in that for a tenner. And I keep seeing it's in Girvan, which it's somewhere near Irvin. Irvin, Girvan, Schmervin. Catch you later, Mr. White. Enjoy your. And if you see a Japanese BC Rich, go for it. Oh. Duke Ellington started as a child with classical piano. Possibly, yeah. There's different ways of doing it. I just like the vibe of music. It's like one of those things that's like, see, when it comes to the analysing thing, same with films, you can analyse it, but ultimately I listen to a song and I really like it or I don't like it. Then I can go, oh, why do I really like it? Or why do I not really like it? I don't not like it because of this. Sometimes I do, but I mean, it's like, give everyone a shot. You don't really know. And sometimes I like it, I shouldn't like. You know what I mean? It's like, you're up here, no, there's no way I'm going to like that. And it's up here, oh. Actually, when it comes down to it, maybe I do. Same with food, I suppose, as well. You know, it's up here, you ever tried shrimp or something like that? Not shrimp. I've tried octopus. You try octopus like that? Well, yeah, rubber crap. I don't like it. But I had to give it a shot. Electric's a newfangled thing in Girvan, possibly. I don't even know. Girvan's one of those things I've seen on signposts. I don't know where it is. Pharaoh Sanders. I don't know who Pharaoh Sanders is. There's only two kinds of music, good and bad. I think you'll find there's a third. There's ugly as well. Where it's things that you can't argue are like Captain Beefheart, Blue Jean, you know, up here, yeah. Whether you think it's good and bad, depending how you look at it, but it's definitely ugly. I think it's good. I think it's amazing. And I think it's bad, but it's definitely ugly. So you can get 3. Carmarthen's in East Cheshire. Sorry, I'm just not a Shirite. I don't know. Shirite. Is Sleeping Village not a blues-based tune? Probably. I mean, it's like there's lots of music I like. This blues, like look at Stray Cat Blues by the Stones. When was the last time I played that? About 1998. Nope. But I can see that you're 50 years old. Ringing on my door. It's the capital crime. Yeah, or Down Payment Blues. Beast. Yes, that's blues. It is, but that is not. So yeah, that's the blues I don't like. This week I bought a Behringer Super Fuzz pedal. Yes, I've heard great things. I actually owned one of them. I didn't get it. It was too modern sounding. I don't know. I didn't get it. The fuzz. I don't know why. I actually gave it to my pal Scott and it broke. The only thing about the Behringer that the sort of plastic, it's not the fact it's got a plastic case. See the actual input and output jacks on them. They're cheap. But you spend a £5 or £2.50 each on 2 new input and output jacks. But you can see they cost a £5. So instead of being a £20 pedal, or a £25 pedal, it's a £30 pedal, so they're not going to sell as many. Apart from the input and output jacks, they're bad. They're good. The practice in a plastic case doesn't make any difference. No, I liked it. I think to be honest, it did too much for me. I'm knob overload. Not knob, that sounds like a different problem. Option overload. I'm just when there's too many options, I get lost. It's not so bad when there's too many options on a guitar. I've actually got push pull pots in this. I actually genuinely don't know what that one does. It was me that wired it. It didn't have any pots in it when I bought it. I think that's a coil split. I think that might be a dual coil split, and that's I need to have a look at it. I've never actually had an actual muff. I do have a micro metal muff. I quite like the name. I thought it was quite rude and a bit funnier. It's MMM. I couldn't really get very much out of that. It didn't work. I think I do really want a big muff. I've just never seen one cheap enough. African musicians as a pentatonic scale. Possibly. I don't know. A440 is the same as God of the World. It's physics. Well, yeah, I don't think you can really argue that. But I mean, I didn't even know there existed a thing. I didn't know there was a standard tuning until way later than I should have. Like, we're talking after I was in my first couple of bands, before I knew that there actually was a standard A. Part of it was to do, I used to buy, like, my record player used to always be a cheap one, so it ran fast. So I would have a record, whatever it was, Caravan in the Land of Grey and Pink or whatever. You couldn't play along with it. I didn't think you could play along, because I thought everyone just tuned the guitar to the tension that they liked. I didn't realize that there actually was a standard tuning. And then even the tuner I'm using just now, that was like when I realized there was a standard tuning. I did when I was jamming with my pals, so I was early 20s, late teens. If somebody was playing a keyboard, I would tune to the keyboard because I knew that they couldn't tune it. I didn't realize the tuner, there was a set thing, that actually was a proper thing. Is Knob Overload a Linda Lovelace movie? Something like that. Yeah, totally. Something like that. 4/4 time, the same everywhere. Simple counting. Yes. There's a couple of things I can play that aren't in standard in a 4/4 time. I don't fully understand the thing. That was what I was in Cranking House. I was always accused of playing things that were in stupid timings, and it's like every single thing I ever did was in 4/4. It's just like say something like the things I know, like something like Staying Alive. You know, it's kind of like F sharp in it. Going nowhere. Somebody help me now. So that is 4/4 time, but the guitar riff, 1, 1, 2, it's before it. It's still 4/4. It's just the guitar comes in early. I can handle that, and I can handle it being a bit late. So it doesn't have to be 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't need to play all those notes. You can go 1, 2, 3, 4, like for reggae or whatever. But it's still 4/4. But it gets a bit difficult. The Mosky Muff is worth checking out. Like your wee rat clothes, well worth 20 quid. Aye, I should probably have a look at it. Yeah, totally. It's just one of those things that you just kind of. I ran the wee Mosky rat pedal. Was it still kicking about somewhere? For ages until I modified the actual rat pedal. The actual rat pedal's better, I'm afraid. I don't know whether that's in my head. Maybe it's got sentimental value to me, but it's better than the Mosky one. It turns out it's actually, I think it's worth about 200 quid, but nothing to do with the fact the Mosky rat pedal was 12 quid when I got it on eBay, including postage. Never saw them cheap as that again. I just bought it. I was thinking, pedals, 12 quid for a pedal. Fuck, how bad can it be? And it's got like a normal input rather than the stupid old fashioned, like a headphone socket input that was the wrong way around and all that crap. I add and subtract beats. Yes, well, sort of. I don't really know. But I'll meet you at the Spoons in town, and Spoons we can have a fight about the honour of tellies. No, I'm not going in. Well, I refuse to go into Weatherspoons because of the guy that owns it. I'll meet you in any other pub, and we'll argue. And I'll bring a Telecaster, and then see how you get on. No, honestly, Cats. I'm not going to say buy a telly, but there will be a time when you'll get a shot at one, and it'll make sense. It's purely because you don't make it. Purely because it doesn't make sense. Once it makes sense, it fucking makes sense. Bands like the Beatles and the Stones have just tuned to an old piano in the corner of the studio. Yeah, totally. I mean, even when you go back to, I'm not that old. When I started playing the guitar, I didn't even start playing the guitar that early. I mean, that tuner pedal, I didn't even know you could get tuner pedals. You did get electric guitar tuners, like the wee ones that have got a mic on them, but that was a pedal. And the first 3 bands I was in, we tuned off my pedal because I had a tuner pedal. It was fucking 65 quid, which was a lot of money back then. The same price as a guitar. But I was in tune, and it was like that whole thing about having the tuner pedal. If things were sounding wonky, I would check it on the pedal and go, I'm in tune, it's one of you that's out. Or maybe not even as aggressive as that, but something sounding a bit funny, and I would check it, and then I would have right, it is in tune, so I'm doing something wrong. Hey, good reverb pedal. The one I'm really liking this one. It's a Moore shim verb. The thing that's annoying about reverb pedals is you can pick up fuzz pedals and distortion pedals for 20 quid. The reverb ones are more than that. They're 40 quid for whatever reason it is. I'm actually using reverb tonight. Got it set up a little bit. Hey. I do like it dry though. I've got a thing about the dry guitar signal. Yeah, see that. I really like it dry. Nobody else does. I'm kind of doing it for You probably can't hear it on the live stream, but I'm kind of doing it for everyone else. Everyone else likes effects and shit. And unfortunately, I find when I started doing this channel, it was basically because I was so sick of looking up guitars and stuff, and you would just get people who are like, here, here's my Telecaster, it would break here, and he's got, like, you know, there's chorus and reverb and echo and about 20 different things going on. It's like, what does the guitar sound like though? So that's kind of why I started doing it. But I mean, I do appreciate that reverbs, I'm artificially making it sound like I'm playing on a stage is kind of the thing, I think. Sped up records on the radio. I know that Elvis Live in Madison Square Garden 72, which is a fucking amazing record. The drums at the start of Fortunate Son, you know, Fortunate Son kind of goes, see? Well, what the Colonel, who was Elvis's manager, realised that the more songs they could put on a record, the more money they got for publishing royalties or some pish. There was some reason they wanted to put more songs. So basically the whole thing was just sped up to 1.25 times the speed. So when after it goes da da da, it's got this basically Cradle of Filth or baby metal type drum thing. It goes brrr, and it's like, wow, that's fucking super early for that. It's just because they fucking sped it up so you could get more things on it, so you can't play along with that record. It's like an effect. Do you know what I mean? Just speeding it up, slow it down. I think Ringo played to a metronome fed into his headphones. I don't think so. Pretty sure Ringo's just a total legend. I mean, I've still not watched the last episode of that the Get Back thing, but the first couple of episodes, it's like, oh, it's Paul McCartney and John Lennon and George Harrison arguing about what do you want to do this? And it's like, I'll try this, and it's like, nobody ever said anything to Ringo at all. Ringo just sat at the back and played along, and there's no comments to Ringo, apart from the time he nearly whited at one point when they're sitting there and there's like, up, you're on going, lads. Is that be all right, Ringo? Cool, just get it later. And he's like, up, you've just smoked too much weed or something like that. They appear about 20 minutes later, he's like, up here, oh, fucking, I'm back. Whoa, you basically just slumped. Up here, hey, Ringo, cool. Never actually asked him what to do. A Yamaha delay pedal. I know that. Is it similar to my, what's the one I've got? Mine's a phaser, a flanger. It's got too many knobs on it. The flanger I've got, it's like a modern flanger you buy. It's like the knobs that are on it go from like usable but really flangy to still usable but not very flangy, whereas these pedals just went twice as far in all directions. So every knob on that pedal, the 4 of them, you could turn it to the point of it just sounds like Star Trek. It doesn't have a musicality to it. Well, it does, but I mean, you have to be mental. It's like, here you go. Here's it's like here's your oscillator on your synth, and it goes from 2 octaves below what you can hear to 2 octaves above what you can hear. Why don't you just have it go from as low as you can hear to as high as you can hear, not bother with the rest of it, kind of like that? So you end up with just being able to do crazy stuff. An orange tiny tenor, didn't realize I don't have reverb. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, reverb never. It was always one I wanted. It was just annoyed. The Softtech doesn't have reverb. That was my main amp for ages. That one that does have reverb, and the orange doesn't. I don't know. Has it got an effects loop? It probably does. I'm not using the effects loop. I'm not sure the effects loop works in that orange. I need to try it. I'm afraid I don't know much about reverb. That one's got 3 different options and all that shit on it. I think it's one of those things that I would rather just have one that had just no other options, just reverb, more, less. But I do appreciate if you're recording or if you're actually thinking about these things. It's like, promise I never say play the same thing twice anyway, so it becomes very difficult. I checked my tuning fork to a bunch of electric tuners. They were all flat. Does that necessarily mean that your tuning fork's been sat on? Because if you had a tuning fork and maybe you've sat on it, and maybe instead of being like that, it's just going, oh, maybe it's not 440 hertz. I don't know. I tend to say that an electric, like a modern digital tuner, will be right. Even a shit one will be A440. I think maybe your tuning fork's bent, got hotter, been old, degraded, was never actually pitch perfect anyway. Beatles engineer said they had to splice together 2 or 3 takes because Ringo couldn't stay in time. I don't know. Maybe I don't think so. I think we're talking about Pete Best when they said that. I think you find it's in they had to do that with the first single or whatever it was with Pete Best on it because he couldn't play in time. I think Ringo could. I don't know. I've been watching a guy called Greg Bissonette, who was I've actually saw him. He was playing with Ringo's All-Star Band. He was Dave Lee Roth's band for Yankee Rose and all that. He's in that. I think he's like a session musician supremo these days. A fucking hilarious guy. Check him out on YouTube. Greg Bissonette. He's really funny. I don't play the drums, but it's like one of those people that can tell you about the drums and make it exciting so you're interested in the drums. You know how it goes. I put tuning fork in freezer then boiling water. Their 300-year-old tuning fork still solid today. Possibly, yeah. Maybe I possibly Pontiac Ron Richards. I've never heard of Ron Richards. Maybe I'm not. It surprises me. I've got quite a high respect for Ringo, but I don't know. Yes, but you might be right. I know one of Bill Ward's main thing was he was shit at keeping time, and as far as I'm concerned, Bill Ward's one of the best drummers ever. But maybe not particularly super in time. Do you maybe just call the in time thing swing? But I don't know. Yeah, I find it. I don't know. I know. I don't know if everyone laughs at Ringo for. Maybe it's just because everyone you get the laughing at Ringo thing for being shit. Maybe I'm just wanting to defend it because everyone else thinks that. I do remember. I can't remember when it was. I think it was Paul McCartney and John Lennon were sitting getting interviews like that. Do you think Ringo's the best drummer in the world, and he's not even the best drummer in the Beatles? But I don't know. And saying that, it comes down to watching that Greg Bissonette guy, and he was playing bits of Beatles songs, and it's like, to be fair, he's like, up here, which song's this? You're like, that's Ticket to Ride. What song's this? That's Octopus's Gut. It's like, you can tell which song it is like that, whereas I don't think that would work. If you played the drums to an AC/DC song, I'm not sure you would immediately know exactly what it was. Or maybe a Sabbath song. I don't know. It's kind of bizarre. Peter Criss could keep time. Peter Criss. Oh, Kiss. No, maybe I. Your drummer dragged you along. It maybe been to a great drum clinic. It was great fun. I bet it was. I bet you didn't have a clue what he was talking about, but it's one of those things where his enthusiasm for it brings you in. I always go back to, it was Chris, we were talking about Red Dwarf earlier on. It was, I remember watching a program I really liked. I think it was in Channel 5. It was a pure cheap ass program. It was Chris Barry, who plays Rimmer in Red Dwarf's Massive Engines. And he'd basically just be talking about this tractor's got a V16 and it's 8 litres, and he was so enthusiastic about it, he ended up going, yes! Let's see what this sounds like. Whoa! An 8-litre engine. It's like, we don't give a fuck about it. Doesn't know anything about tractors, not interested, but he was so enthusiastic about it. And he was talking about how he was going to get a shot of this Bentley and all that. And they're like, it's got a synchromesh gearbox. Don't even know what it is, but he said it. He goes, oh, it's got a synchromesh gearbox. So like, oh, what's a synchromesh? Oh, what's that sound like? You know what I mean? Weird. Go to bed with icky pub, wake up a smelly finger. Right. Letting the tempo breathe. That's what they say when you pull them up about it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we're pretty bad in the Sabbath band. The new Sabbath drummer is really good at it as well. It's like I've got a thing about, see, I start NIB on my own. You know, it's got like a bass solo, and then I've got to go da 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 da. For some reason, I can't play that at the right time. So whenever we do it, it's like live like that. Oh God, here we go. I'm going to try and play at the right time. And you look at the drummer, and the drummer's like that. Pierre, here we go. But it kind of the whole band goes and speeds up, which Sabbath do. So I'm maintaining that the reason I do that is so we sound more like Black Sabbath. You hear that a lot, and like I even hear it in records where the whole band's kind of they're kind of going into the new bit, and it's like not quite fast enough, and the whole band just goes speeds up a wee bit. It's kind of like doing that with the tape speed. It works as long as everyone's doing it and it fits in. It doesn't have to be time. Had something for tea, but I've been swayed for the path on a 16-inch Hawaiian pizza with pecora sauce. Interesting. I fully don't understand the not liking pineapple on a pizza thing. I know that it's a big thing. You know, any sort of pineapple on a pizza is disgusting and pure. I really like pineapple on a pizza. I'd put pineapple on any pizza. Fucking great. What I wouldn't touch is anchovies, though. I had a pizza when I started working in the pizza, delivering pizzas. I'll make you a pizza, okay, and anchovies on it. And I took a slice because I was going out delivery driving, and it was like, took a slice, and it was like fucking only a wee tiny, didn't have a whole anchovy on it, a wee tiny bit of it. Like a wee, the size of a match head, and my God, it was the saltiest, fishy thing. I just felt like I'd just gone and licked a harbour. It was unbearably strong. It's like really, I reckon you could have a vat of soup, you know what I mean, 10-gallon drum, an oil drum of soup, put an anchovy in it, and you'll taste that fucking anchovy. I don't like them. But I mean, pizza, pineapple's great. But if the fork wasn't made in tune to start with, yes. Or it could have been bent. That's what I mean. I'm saying if someone sat on it, or it's expanded over time as the iron dried out. I don't know. I would definitely try your tuning fork against something like your phone. You know, you get the Boss tuner that's on your phone. Try it against that, because it's digital. It's ones and zeros. It is right. It might not be super sensitive and as good and as quick to react and shit, but it is A440. New Yorkers could not be doing that. Synchromesh gearbox, overhead cam, curb crawler, Hawkwind. Right. I don't know what a synchromesh gearbox is. I can imagine what an overhead camshaft is. I've never heard curb crawler by Hawkwind, but to be fair, Hawkwind do have about 30 albums I've probably never heard. Should the pineapple go on cold? No. Well, before you cook it, I don't know. Well, just like an anchovies minge. Yeah, keep it highbrow. It'll be fine. Keep it highbrow. It's like people watching. No, very good. Very good, yes. Yeah. But no anchovies. Oh. I'm not a big fan of seafood myself, to be honest. Like a fish supper, that doesn't count, no. Ivan was her name. Ivan to have a wash, perhaps. Children of the Graves in C sharp. So how can I play it in E? So just play it in C sharp. Now tomorrow is the things that fall today. When God is at the place to live, the things that fall today. I look at what's in the shadow of atomic field. The Lord was a fight for us, only disappear. Yeah. That's my favourite bit to play in the song. These notes. Yeah. It's in C sharp. And I'm playing it in E. This can be done. Spoonerism to fret a note. But did you buy a proper metric one or one of them damn Yankee Imperial ones? An Imperial 440 hertz as opposed to a metric 440 hertz. So Malco chat, best Sabbath song at Symptom of the Universe is the best song by anybody ever written, ever. Including the, in brackets, Don't Start Too Late as part of the song, right? As the best song ever written because it starts off with that. So it's got like sort of the nylon string classically thing going on. Then it's got the best note riff ever. And then at the end it's got the so it's like pure funk. Best song ever written. Symptom of the Universe. I know we don't play it in the band. To be honest, the singing is heroic. I think I've never heard Ozzy sing it live. So I reckon what they were doing in the studio when they were recording it was meter-long line of coke. Right, stop tape. Right, ready, Ozzy? Right, cool, here we go. Another meter-line line of coke. Second line, that's how they recorded it, I think. Her brother Bon Jovi. Dear. That's a good joke. I like that. I know her brother Bon Jovi spelled like so. His Fairies Wear Boots because Geezer wrote all of them. I've never played the song before. Not saying I could play it on the guitar. Going home late last night. Suddenly I got a fright. Looked in the window and the fact what I saw. My Fairies Wear Boots, but under with a dwarf. Yeah. See, I don't know. It might even be more fun to play in the bass because that bit where it just goes. So no, I can't play it on the guitar, but on the bass I can play it. Geezer wrote all the songs. $2,000 a day on flowers for the studio. Gonna make the place look nice. Like that. Kebab pizza. Number one most popular in Sweden year after year. All kebab stuff on a pizza. Terrible. Google it before first. You get doner kebab pizzas here. I don't know about all kebab stuff on a pizza. You get like doner meat on a pizza. Definitely here is a common thing. There's a thing called a stoner, which apparently you can buy in the salt market in Glasgow, which is basically you can't really outdo Glasgow for some of these things. It's like it's like a sausage supper you get in Glasgow, so you get like a really budget pork sausage wrapped in fish supper batter and deep fried, right? But what you do is you get the really budget sausage, wrap it in kebab meat, then batter it and deep fry it. I never had one, but I'm gonna have to buy one at some point. You know what I mean? So that time me and Scott did a video trying because we went to Falkirk for some reason. He was buying distortion pedals. Like, we're kind of near Falkirk. I know you can get a Mars bar, a deep fried Mars bar. So we got a deep fried Mars bar, just to see what it was like, and it's fucking horrible. Munchie boxes, oh my god. Munchie boxes are, how drunk are you? I mean, it's just that everything is just so Hoff cheese pizza and batter. Kit Kats, it wasn't that long ago that I tried. It was called a Pizza Crunch, which was like one of your actually when I was started drinking on a Sunday, me and my pal Robert used to go to a shop called Livesteam and buy a pizza, and it was you got like it was they couldn't call it a cheese pizza because it didn't have any cheese on it. It was cheese substitute, but it was the one you get as a half fried pizza. And the thing it's kind of like sort of a yellowy rubbery substance that looks a bit like cheese on a dough thing that you can deep fry. But the Pizza Crunch is that dipped in batter and then deep fried. So you've got like a flour pizza base, which obviously has absorbed as much fat out the chip fryer as it's 5 times the weight due to the fat that's been absorbed. And you put the batter around the outside so none of that fat escapes. So, I mean, you really must be in a half-fried pizza supper, which is what, a pizza's what, 10 inch or something like that, half of that, dipped in batter. You must have like a kilogram of fat in it. It's horrible. Hoff pizza, Hoff cheese pizza and batter. I'd never heard of such a thing. I've had the chip shop I worked in, Jerry's in Kirky, did do a half pizza supper. I never saw one with batter on it though until it was one time in. I was going to say, where does the Renfrew ferry go to? It's fucking in Renfrew, wasn't it? Yeah. So me and my dad were there for work or something like that at the B&Q or something. It was up here. Oh, there's a pizza crunch, and it was just like eating the block of fat that you put in a chip shop. It was ridiculous. please what? No munchies, only G-strings. No, a munchie box is basically a pizza box. You can get like a large munchie box, which is a 12-inch pizza, but like a 10-inch pizza box with everything in it's deep fried. So you normally get like a handful of kebab meat, chips, veg pakora, chicken pakora, possibly mushroom pakora. And then you get like you get like a wee tub of sauce and possibly a salad, which no one will eat. But they're really non-digital cheese, please. No. Yeah, the thing is that they used to taste good to me. I used to buy the before I'd ever seen them fried in a chip shop. I used to buy them just the exact same pizza, and you just microwave it for 30 seconds or a minute or something, and it would be like a hot, roughly cheese flavored thing. You can print a burger, so it's only about a time. Yeah, average lifespan of weed is about 47. That there is that, yes. No, there's some things which you shouldn't be eating. You know what I mean? It's like, what the fucking things was it? I never got fried bread you get in a Scottish breakfast. It's like it's too much. Have you seen the Burniston Munchie box? I have not. Comes a bottle of Gaviscon. Yeah, I never actually. Burniston's a bit late for me, so by the time it got to Burniston, I was out with my pals on a Friday, whenever it was on. I still remember watching, be around at someone's house having a drink or whatever, and we would stop at 9 o'clock to watch Red Dwarf. I remember that, which was difficult. I was all right because I had my video recorder set at home to record it so I could watch it again. But we'd be sitting there, you would make an attempt because when TV used to be like that. Egg-free French toast, okay, and a SIM card. The Chinese have jumped on the Munchie box thing, have they? So what do you get in a Chinese Munchie box? Well, I even remember. See, I'm that old that I remember. See, pakora. You couldn't buy pakora on its own. I remember. My dad used to go and we used to get a kebab. I was aware of doner kebabs before everyone else was because my dad used to go into the Athens Express from Lenzie. So that was 20 minutes into town, right on Buchanan Street. And there was a place called Athens Express that used to buy doner kebabs because I think there only were a couple of doner kebab places in the whole of Scotland, sort of thing. We used to go to that and get doner kebabs. And pakora, you used to get it as a set menu thing from the Indian restaurant. So you could get pakora, of course. What kind of main meal would you like? Can I just get the pakora? Oh, don't sell that separately. Because it's just flour and onions. I've seen them make it. It literally is flour, onions, and a handful of spicy shit. Deep fried. That's all it is. There's nothing else in it. Oh. A bus ticket pakora. 20 piece of Code Lucy and Killerman. Hey, Gordon, I don't know what you're talking about. And I've been drinking, Bucky. Yeah. When I went to Berwick on Tweed for my annual cider run, an English breakfast with fried bread was awesome. I think it was cooked in butter. All right. A Johnny pakora. Yeah, basically, see if it can be deep fried. Have you ever seen the film, what's it called? 2012 or 2112? 2012, I think it's called. It's Doomsday 2012 or something. There was another film that had, the guy from High Fidelity in it, John Cusack, also called 2012, but there was another film called 2012, which was set, it must have been from about 2000, it was set in the future and shit, and it was set in George Square in Glasgow, and Sean Pertwee was deep fried in George Square because there were cannibals, and because there were cannibals from Glasgow, they deep fried him. Yeah. Joe payment pakora. Make anything out of pakora? Yeah. I actually had pakora for dinner tonight. The wee co-op up the road's gets like veg pakora in wee packets, and it's like $3.75 or something. It's just not. It's £6 for pakora at the time. Well, it was like $3.75, but it always seems to go out a date on a Saturday or a Sunday. So I'm going up here after paintballing yesterday. I hope we've got pakora in a big fucking pile for $1.25 a packet. So I bought 3 of them. So I had 2 chicken pakoras done in the oven, which is, I suppose, technically not real pakora because it's not deep fried. So I think when you do it in the oven, some of the fat actually comes out of it rather than when you deep fry it, where it's like pure, how much fat can we take in? Just get all of it. So it's just twice of it. I do need to see the Burniston Munchie Box sketch. Has it got like a deep fried can of Coke in it and stuff like that? I can't even imagine. I do like Burniston. Some of it was hilarious. A little bit close to the bone, a lot of it. That's the problem. I don't know. I don't want to get fucking all Scottish independency again, though. But I do know that the BBC, any thing for the last 20 or 30 years that was made in Scotland, it's like pure, all right, we've got this idea for a programme that's like QI, you know what I mean? It's quite highbrow and a pure. No. We've got this programme about current affairs. No. We've got this programme about junkies on the street. Yes! So that's why Rapsy Nesbitt and that's why Burniston got through. You weren't allowed to do anything like that because you can't have all for £2.50. That sounds fucking good. That must have been a while ago. You don't get in for $2.50 these days, man. I was going to buy a can of lager or a can of cider to go along after if I finish my bucky too early. I don't think I'm going to finish my bucky too early. Oh God, it's not as late as I thought it was. But it's fucking £2.30 for a can of lager. Fuck off. Or you can buy packs. I don't want 4 cans of lager. I want 1. I don't understand that you drink a bottle of bucky. And then when that runs out, you spend the rest of the evening till 4 o'clock in the morning sipping your 1 can of lager. That's how it goes. I don't want a 4-pack. That'd last me 6 months. Don't seem to do it. The bar will be full of hair. We on the West Coast would bake humans in clay to sort that. Yeah. Well, that's like that 2012 film. A new pair of shell toes, pakora. So you can't catch. You're obviously going for why don't you pakora a guitar? And to be honest, the fryer's not deep enough. I could do a pedal because I know the guys in the kebab shop down the road. You've seen I bought the Donner Les Paul. The make was Donner, and I altered. All I did to alter it was I basically made it work. I changed the rhythm treble switch, so instead of saying rhythm and treble, it said sauce and salad, and all the Scottish people I told that were fucking, it's fucking great. And anyone I told from anywhere else in Britain was like, aye, right, so it's a Donner guitar. I don't think you get asked if you want sauce and salad on a kebab in England. Maybe you do, but none of them thought it was funny. But yeah, I mean, I honestly, Stonybridge, oh God. But I mean, yeah, something that would, I'm sure. I mean, the guys were funny enough when I went down to the kebab shop with the guitar. I was like, up here, yeah, I was up here, kebab. Up here, could you hold this? See, it's a Donner. See the make of this guitar, and they're like, up here. Someone's coming into the shop with a guitar. Like, it's a Donner. It's up here. Yeah, look at the switch and sauce and salad. It's like, could you hold that up against the kebab thing and make it look like a kebab? And the guy's like, no problem. It's great. So he's standing there holding it up like that against the actual kebab skewer thing with the knife. So they're funny guys. So I could basically, well, I don't know. Let's be honest here. I don't know, because then obviously they're sitting there thinking about it. They'd have to get rid of it. A Pecora guitar would be Battercaster. It's like, I mean, we're thinking about it. It would fall off when you varnished it afterwards. It wouldn't fit in. I mean, the chip fryer, it's not a proper chip fryer you've got in a kebab shop. So the Pecora dish thing's only that size, so it can't. I couldn't fit an entire guitar in it. It would be fucking hilarious though. It's like, who would buy it though? I like the idea of doing it for a laugh, but I'd be stuck with it. Obviously, I'm talking about completely varnishing that bastard forever after it's been done, but a Battercaster could be there. It could be done. It's to be honest, it's something I've not thought about. It's the sort of thing I would do though. If I could think of the right thing to dip in batter and deep fry, I would do it. What could you deep fry that wouldn't? The problem I'm thinking, I'm just thinking of this completely practically. If I went down to the chip shop and said, "Do you want to deep fry this pedal or this pickup or something?" Whatever it was, it would have to be something that wouldn't ruin the fryer. Because obviously they're not wanting to have to empty the fat out and put more fat in. They want to be able to deep fry it and then everything will be fine. What you can't deep fry is not worth existing. Yeah, totally. I agree. It's an interesting thought, though. It's one of those things that maybe if I was a less bollock. A less bollock, aye. No, I don't know. Just watch it now. What the can I do that? This would be a new one. I can't. I see if I knew how to put it on the screen so we could all watch it. I bet there'd be fucking copyright restrictions if I did it though. I take it it's not very long. The Burniston. What have they put in it? There we go. Right, F11. YouTube. Burniston. You can probably sort of see it. Would you say it? Munchie Box? Burniston Munchie Box. Burniston tunes in. Ultimo Munchie Box, 1.5 minutes. I don't know if I'll be able to. Oh. Pecora. Yeah, okay, that was worth watching. That was worth watching. No, it's like my first initial thing was like, that's all the chips you got. There's only about 12 chips, and then it was like Pecora, and it's like pure veg Pecora. chicken pakora, and then square sausage pakora, which I've never heard of, but fucking sounds awesome, and then burger in a sesame bun, burger in a Scottish roll. We've never tried a Scottish roll, man. Fuck any other type of bread. And then I think my favourite one there was the burger made of 2 square sausages with a pie in the middle. Aye, a SIM card. No, very good. No, yes, I should have seen that. I've never seen that before. I probably need to actually sit and watch a lot more Burniston. No, I like that. That was good. Hope I don't get a copyright strike for that. It's on YouTube, so hopefully not. Hopefully it wasn't that loud enough. Yeah, but I mean, it really is quite telling that the first thing I saw, a disposable lighter, yeah, totally, a fake passport. It's like a spare pair of pants. That's when you know you're getting a great curry. It's like, what's it come with? This like pair and a new pair of pants. Yes, no, fucking great. Love it. Love it. I don't know if that humor is going to. Does that humor equate well to the rest of the world, though? The thing is, it's like, as I said, it's quite telling that my first reaction to that was, that's all the chips you get. And there was no kebab meat in it. There's that pair of chicken pakora, 3 bits. No, we're talking about a pizza box pure rammed that it's like no longer got a flat top. It's like that because it's just got so much fat in it. And some of those things weren't deep fried. It wasn't deep fried pants and a deep fried pie. Although, to be totally honest, it's a genuine thing. You can get a steak pie supper or a pie supper from the chip shop I worked in, where it's basically a Scotch pie, which is basically made of fat, deep fried, so it can hold more fat. Oh. I always thought, who's the English Limmy? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think the English are as into slagging themselves off. Or that's the thing with the Scottish stuff. It's like that. It's fucking hilarious if you're Scottish because it's totally taking the piss out of Scottish people. But it's the thing about the Scottish thing is like you can kind of get out of fights by being really, really, really offensive but funny. If you can make the other person laugh, you kind of diffuse everything. One of my favourite things is that your patter's like water, and whoever it is that's going, what you're looking at, your patter's like water, and they're like, what? Oh, bastard! Ugh. And then it becomes a trying to be funnier than each other competition rather than just actually punching each other. That probably doesn't work in all parts of Glasgow. It works on the posh side that I live on, though. But you basically just, if you're funny, it becomes a laugh, and then you end up having a laugh, and then you end up pals. It's kind of it's all to do with the diffusing the situation with that sort of humor. Lemmy is. I need to watch more Lemmy. I remember watching his TV show when it was on TV and not laughing at it at all, thinking it was absolutely shite. And then a year ago, something like that, 2 years ago, I could deal with you and your Ouija ways. But if you were anywhere east, don't know. East. Well, I don't know. Glasgow's a funny place, though. It's like see. Okay, I've got a posh Glasgow accent, right? But part of that is I went to the posh school in Glasgow, right? But also, not all my pals talk like this. Also, having Taiwanese girlfriends where I was trying to speak more clearly. But more than that, the YouTube thing where this is not the way my friends talk. I am the clearest speaking because I'm trying to make it so that people actually sort of know what I'm talking about. If you can't understand what I'm saying, give it 10 minutes and you will. You'll get used to it. You know what I mean? A lot of people, even there's a lot of people from Glasgow, stuff like that, they talk to me and it's just like, it's too much. It's too much. I am still saying all the words in the right order. Let me a bit too cynical. I don't know. The thing is bizarre about Glasgow. See if you go to I'm northwest Glasgow. I've still got a Glasgow postcode, so still Glasgow. But Kilsyth is 3 miles in that direction, something like that. Kilsyth sound like they're from Fife. Hey, why they don't sound like Glasgow? You go in the other direction. See in Dunoon, everyone sounds like they're from Glasgow. So Glasgow's a strange thing where I don't know. And then when you get to Edinburgh, everyone's English, so they don't have a. Limmy's the best thing. Sam the Skull. I don't know it. I remember Limmy doing Falconhoof, which is fucking hilarious. If anyone ever saw, I can't remember what the program was called. It was a Scottish guy, like a kids' TV show where he had to like go around obstacle courses and shit. And it was like kind of like Nightmare, a bit like that. And it was Falconhoof, and it's brilliant. Let me ask for some lean beef. I can't imagine. I need to watch. I mean, the Limmy thing that really got me was Yoker. Someone sent me a Facebook link to when he was I don't know, it's like he was playing some character, it's just like a guy in the brew or something like that. I always see it in the buses, Yoker. What the? That sounds like pure exotic and all that. So he got the bus to Yoker and he's sitting on the bus going, nobody else here knows I'm no meant to be coming here. Pure in an alien land and all that. And actually, when the video when I went and got a fish supper, when I started doing the stupid videos when I was out in the car, I went to Clydebank, got myself a fish supper in the award-winning fish and chip shop that looks like a boat, and then tried. I was like, I know where Yoker is. It's kind of, and I couldn't find Yoker. I think to be honest, I stopped there, did a 3-point turn because there was no signs saying Yoker or anything like that. So I think I went, but I don't remember. It wasn't that exotic. No, I never really got Limmy. He does a lot of Twitch streamy stuff and all that. It's quite good. Nightmare, yes. I have no business in Yoker. No, it's the thing. Up here. That guy looking at me, he's like, up here, you're no free Yoker. What are you doing here? I don't know whether that works for everyone though. I definitely do remember watching when he had a TV show on and watching it and not liking it, thinking this is just pish. What the fuck is this? But I'm sure it's there. Really feel I should be talking. This is getting a bit topical, isn't it? Who bought a new guitar this week? Yoker is just at the Clyde Tunnel. The Clyde Tunnel's Bearsden, isn't it? I'm pretty sure. I even went and stopped. I went down thinking it was Yoker. Where does the Renfrew ferry go to? Does it not go to Yoker? Because I went down and turned at on the north side of the Clyde where the Renfrew ferry is. She told me, but I can't remember. I've been drinking Bucky. What did you buy? You bought a 12-string Fender. Was that you? I've not bought any guitars this week. Like a full. I need to. People keep giving me guitars to fix. It's like, so I fix guitars. Hartwood. Oh, wait, fakey big P. Yes. A 12-string acoustic though. It's a big thing. Obviously, you played. Was one of the first. Have you played? Obviously, within the first 10 minutes. Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man. Take It Easy. Hotel California. What's the Bowie one again? Space Oddity. Those are the ones. Yoker is a state of mind. It could be. It's definitely there. And the thing is, it's definitely on the north side of the Clyde. And I basically drove along the north side of Clyde from Clydebank to the SECC, or the SEC, which is now called. So I drove through it. I just didn't stop and eat my fish supper, which was the plan, because my only really thing about Yoker is, as you say, seen it on buses or seen it on signposts, but there wasn't actually a sign that said, welcome to Yoker. Yoker is like Irvine. Folks know about it, but nobody wants to go there. Possibly. I don't really know Irvine either. I've seen it in the distance. It's a wee bit far away, Irvine. I can't remember. Where would I be going? Largs. My dad had a yacht in Largs, so I could kind of driving over the back way when you don't go the scenic route down past Gourock, you go over the top way. I'm pretty sure Irvine's over there when you're doing the thingy, past Kilbarkin and all that, through Paisley, Kilbarkin. Look, Irvine's in the distance over there. Looks awfully far away. A lot of guitars for sale in Irvine. Maybe it's you selling them. I keep seeing shit for sale in Irvine, and it's just one of those ones that, yes, it's worth it if it's a pure belter or a guitar that I'm pure after. You know, if it's like a Washburn or something like that. I'm totally driving to fucking Irvine to get it. Yeah, totally. But I'm not driving there to get a £30 guitar, because it's going to cost me, well, okay, it's only going to cost me a £5 in pet and diesel because I've got a Panda, but it's an hour to get there, an hour to get back. You can see Aaron. You can see Aaron from Cumbernauld, man. Definitely, because I've seen it. So, like, Cumbernaulds further away from Aaron than I am. So basically, see where I am. See if you just went high enough up. See if you had like a really tall scissor lift. I could see Aaron. I bought a Tokai Thunderbird bass a la Pete Way for £200. That seems all right. I actually had a Thunderbird. In fact, the Thunderbird was hanging on the wall there until I decided I was going to try and swap around the guitars a little bit, so it wasn't always the same ones you were looking at. That's why I brought out the white. So Malcolm Cat wasn't just like this is to try and keep some sort of rotation in. The problem is that a lot of them have got shit strings on them, so I don't want to have guitars sitting there that's like, you play that? No. At least this one's not that bad because it's got electors on it. It does actually play. And it's really annoying not being able to play bass in the live streams because I've listened back to live streams, the bass doesn't come through at all. It's like the bandwidth I've got just isn't good enough. How'd you get on, Ravensmead, with the Thunderbirds? I went to Irvine once, good pace of petrol. I must have been there. I must have been to Irvine. I used to know a guy. In fact, I've actually got his bass in just now, but he's changed his name because he fell out with his dad or something like that. But I used to go to a school with a guy called David Irvine. We all called Irvine. So anytime anyone ever says Irvine, I think, I used to know a guy called Irvine. I was impressed with yesterday. And Aaron looked like Jurassic Park cool. Aaron looks sick though. It does. Actually, the second time I was on Aaron, I went only last year. Me and Scott got the ferry over to pick up an acoustic guitar, which was fun. It was a 12-string. It was a lovely guitar, actually. And Aaron was lovely. That's the first time I've ever been Aaron, apart from the time I went in my own boat. But because I was on my own boat and I'd just done an 80-mile round trip in a 4-meter rib, and I was running out of petrol, it was really... I just got to the point of, I'm going to Aaron, so I fucking put the boat on the beach in Aaron, like on a pure unpopulated bit, ran up to beyond where the high tide was onto the grass and went, I'm on Aaron! Like literally, totally there on my own, nobody for 10 miles in any direction. Aaron! And then ran back down to my boat before it floated away and left. But I did go on Aaron, so that's my 2 times in Aaron. A 1984 Ibanez Destroyer bass. There was an Ibanez Destroyer bass in a shop in the West End called Relics. £250. This thing was fucking beautiful. I don't think 84, maybe 85, but it was a proper Destroyer, black binding. It looked fucking amazing. I wasn't going to buy it. Now I would just have bought it. This is maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago when I wasn't buying guitars that cost more than 50 quid or 100 quid. I should have bought it. I told the guy I was like, I decided I wasn't buying. I'm still sipping. I've been making it last. Kit Kats. To be fair, I'm talking though. You're just listening. Maybe you're talking as well. Or hopefully you guys are shouting at the screen when I do something, when I say something stupid. Oh, fuck off! And you type it. But shout it first. Why not? I've got to make up for last night when I was. The thing was, I went to this. So I went to this stag do. The guy whose stag it was used to drink too much and then stopped drinking 10 years ago or something like that. Got to sit down. So I was like, up here, I'll just not drink because I know he's not drinking. And then we went for a curry, and it's like, I paid for everyone's beer. I'll just divide it up between 9 of us like that. So everyone's had 5 pints, apart from me who had a Coke. Great. So it was 20 quid I paid for everyone's beer. So that's the bad side about not drinking. When you've got to chip in for it anyway. Whereas really what I should have done was ditch the fucking car, get pure slammed, walked home, but then I wouldn't be able to do that. There's a Taco Bell. I like the way it's taco, like tachometer, instead of TACO, the way it's actually spelled. So it's like Speed Bell. I'll shout you in person. I like a lot of people from. I've never seen a Taco Bell. Although I believe somebody told me, it might have been you, said there was a Taco Bell in Irvine. I know Taco Bell from Demolition Man, the Sly Stone film, where apparently there was a European version of that film where they overdubbed Pizza Hut and they digitally put, or maybe they couldn't digitally do it at that time, over when it said Taco Bell, it said Pizza Hut. Not the version I saw when I was a kid, because I was like, what the fuck's Taco Bell? And the franchise wars, you know what I mean? It's like, what's the other one? Wendy's, never heard of that. Or never, you don't get them, or maybe you do now. You know, it's like, okay, we know McDonald's, we know Burger King, we know Pizza Hut, we know Kentucky Fried Chicken. that's it for the global fucking the global stuff. I've never seen a Taco Bell. It sounds like fun though, and it looked good in the film. But I'll hold you to that. Get the train, maybe to Demolition Man, still no bean, but everyone was at next McDonald's after Coatbridge. Really, was Coatbridge the first McDonald's? As far as I was aware, the first McDonald's was Springburn one. But it was no. So I used to when I was how old would I have been? 13. I think I started. The first time I ever had a carry out was I was 14, so maybe 13. Me and my pal used to go into the Barras every Saturday and buy computer games for the Atari ST and do a bit of wheeling dealing between the different stalls in the Barras, and we'd end up having spent £3 each and have like 6 new Atari games sort of thing. But we'd always get always get 2 McDonald's cheeseburgers, which used to be 59 pence. I think it was 49p for a cheeseburger, for a burger, or a hamburger, and 59 pence for a cheeseburger. Used to always get 2 of them. Best traditional Scottish. I know it's got to be a rolling sausage, really. We get sausages here, which you don't get anywhere else. I saw a thing on it was a while ago. It was on Facebook Marketplace talking about Aldi, and it was like someone down in England going like that. Aldi's invented this type of sausage, and it's the best thing ever. Why is this? This is the best. Why does nobody know about this? It was basically just a Scottish flat sausage that Aldi for some reason sold in England. Square sausage though. Flat sausage, square sausage. Oh, we do need a Malcolmfest, guitars, Bucky, and fast food. And the fast food has got to be rolls and sausage, and it's got to be rolls. You've got to. I mean, I don't know if anyone here is not Scottish. See when you're anywhere else in the world and you get like a burger bun or a bap. See a roll. Kind of looks the same. Does it fuck? No, it's like a roll. When I'm going to do the download festival, I'm taking down 12 rolls with me. There's 4 of us there. I'm taking down 12 rolls and go, here, fucking eat this. You don't, I mean, honestly, you could just eat it straight. Rolls are fucking great. I think it's soda bread or something. I don't know what it's got. There's something about it that's different from like a burger bun or a bap, but a proper roll is fucking great. They don't last long. And pakora. You can't deep fry shit on a. It would be interesting to download, see if you had a fucking some sort of gas powered deep fat fryer. Man, wow. Oh, rolls. Pakora's for an evening thing. Rolls is during the day. But it would be Bob's Burgers. Square sausage. The square sausage. Pure 98% steak. And then 2% spices. Whereas, like he told me before, but he used to he used to be a butcher. I think he's still a butcher, but he used to work and he would make up. You weren't allowed to call it sausage for burger vans and shit. It was called slice, which was something stupid. It was 20% beef fat, 20% chicken fat, and the rest was cereal and spices. And it's like sourdough, Scott. You're still there, right? Cool. We're more similar to sourdough bread and sweetened soft bread rolls. So it's sourdough. What did I say? I didn't say sourdough. I said something else. But yes, soda bread. I said. But yeah, and a chewy roll. Amazing. Oh. And I'm also going to introduce the folk, the guys I'm going down with download. It's one from download, one from Slovakia. I'm going to hit them with a proper roll, right? A buttered roll with chocolate on it. Not chocolate spread, fuck that. Just like dairy milk or fruit and nuts, the best one. Dairy milk, fruit and nut. That on a buttered roll. How can that be nice? Oh yeah. That's it when we were out in the boat when I was a kid. It's like rolling chocolate. I even remember people would go out like from the other caravans and shit would be, you're eating a roll with just a chocolate bar on it. Aye. Try it. And they'd be like, no, it'd be horrible to try pepper. And then you'd be chewing it and like 30 seconds later going, oh yes, fucking rolling chocolate. Yeah. Morton's roll, square sausage, tatty scone, black pudding, brown sauce, cures any hangover. Possibly. I've never been a tatty scone fan. I never had tatty scones as a kid. I didn't get a tatty scone. I always remember a pal Mo, whose stag was at, was always going, oh, roll tatty scone, tatty scone. It was like, I don't know what a tatty scone is. A potato scone, a tatty scone. I don't know. Really don't know. You get stuff full of currant the other side of the valley. This side of the valley. Which valley on? I had a curry last night. I don't know if you were there 2 seconds ago, but you were complaining about this the other day because you don't drink, Scott. And I was at that stag party last night and chipping in for the meal, and I know that I'd basically had the £30 standard buffet or whatever fucking meal thing, and I'd had a Coke with it, and then so I paid, let's just round it down so we all pay, like divide it by 10, like 50 quid, like that, right? Great. So I paid £20 towards everyone else's pints of lager. Fucking great. Oh. Well, this pizza's massive slice anyway. I would have had a slice. I bet you a slice of it would be amazing as well. You know, say it was a 16-inch. Fucking, I totally want a bit. Unfortunately, I've been drinking too much bucky to actually get my panda down to get it. Oh. And you said it came with pakora sauce as well. Actually, what I haven't had for ages is a Bombay Express, which you get from the kebab shop that's 2 miles away. It's a good pizza. Pakora. 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 With chips. It's like my pakora. My pakora, never gonna stop frying up. Everybody's gonna put anything in a munchie bug. My pakora. Yeah. I thought that was going to be much more cleverer than it actually turned out to be. I think I'm much more witty when I haven't been dulled by the bucky. But yeah. Bombay Express sounds like a good night in the loo. Yes. We call it bog. I know, Jeff, you're Scottish, but it should be bog. Yeah. Oh. Having a night on the Bombay Express. Yeah, totally. Get you. That's very much like a code name. How'd you get on Sundays? Like, all day on the throne. I was riding the Bombay Express. Riding the Bombay Express. There you go. Riding the Bombay Express. I was riding the Bombay Express. Lighter flints, pakora. No, the bit of hash was quite funny. You kind of want to have that just before the munchie box, though. The munchie box is a death sentence, so it's like after a munchie box, you're basically black pudding, Sabbath bloody pudding. Sabbath blood. There used to be pudding, bloody pudding. Fruit pudding. You used to get fruit puddings, I think, as well. I don't know why it's called pudding. Black pudding. The black pudding was I remember the goodies. I vaguely remember the goodies. I'm not that old. But they had an episode I've seen. But was it called Ecky Thump? When it was a guy. It was what's the wee guy in the goodies called? Bill Oddie. And he was like, he wearing a flat cap because he was from the north, which is way south of us, not real the north. And he was hitting people with a black pudding, and somebody actually died, like when it was on in the 70s, because they were laughing so much they actually died and they got into trouble for it. And it's like, it's kind of more, that's good, sort of. No, obviously not happy that somebody died, but it must have been pretty funny if somebody died. It was that funny. I can't really remember. Fruit pudding was never. No, fruit pudding is quite good. Fuck knows what, it's got raisins in it. It was fish. We used to play, what's Eckie bag at school then? I don't know if I want to know what Eckie bag is. It sounds fucking terrible. I know maybe when, I think you're probably a bit older. In fact, I've met you. You're older than me. An Eckie bag. No, maybe not when I was at school. A couple of years later, if you see if you'd been 5 years older than me, an Eckie bag would have been a bag of Eckies. I do remember at the not download, what was it called? The Connect Festival at Inverary. It was fucking chucking it down. They fucking put a festival on in Scotland at Inverary Castle. I saw the Beastie Boys. Fucking great. And Bjork. Fucking brilliant. It was amazing, amazing festival, but it was chucking it down. They fucking put it on in September in Scotland. Anyone should know that summer in Scotland is 2 weeks in June. That's it. So you've got a 50-50 chance of getting it in either the first 2 weeks of June or the second chance of June, and you'll have summer. September? No. So we had this fucking massive tent. My pal Michael had a massive tent. We're sitting in there like 3 rooms on the outside, 1 in the middle. And folk would come in and there was a guy trying to sell fucking Eckies. And fucking none of us touched that shit. And there was one of the other folk who was just out the rain. Had a fucking ball at this festival at the campsite. And there's this guy trying to sell fucking out his brain in a big bag like this. And I was talking about buying them. And I think he was trying to sell 100 or something, 50 Eckies or something. And the guy's up here, arguing with him, going up here 50 pence. You know, if it was 50 pence each and he was going to be buying 1,000 of them or something stupid. And eventually he got him down to 25 pence. I was like, up here, I was like, guys up here, all right, 25 pence. He's like, up here, brilliant, geese 3. Which I thought was funny. So I've never taken it. We'll never touch it. Trout slapping, that's a bit, that's Monty Python, isn't it? The fish dance. Eckie bag pakora. Oh. My pants are full of specks because I'm on the Bombay Express. Yeah, I never really considered the Bombay Express as a journey, but there you go. Hitting each other over the head with a school bag, that sounds like the sort of thing you used to play at school, yes. The Beastie Boys at Glasgow. Well, I saw them fuck Glasgow. I saw them at Inverary Castle when they would come out. And it was like, honestly, I've never understood, the whole DJing thing when you're sitting there with a record and scratching it and shit. I never understood that. I still kind of don't. I never took Eckie, so techno was fucking terrible, right? Hated it. But you'd get folk who would have like records playing, and one would just be like beeps, and one would be like the drum beat, and you would sync them up and make music. Not music for people who weren't full of drugs, just like music for people like me who'd like been drinking the bucket. Like, not really music, is it? That, but he had and they must have had a screen because it was Led Zeppelin 3, the record, and it still had so it had like Led Zeppelin 3 with Immigrant Song, and it had the green and orange label, so it was. And it kind of started coming out, and it was like they started off with and it was the way he was playing that fucking record by skipping it and making it fucking brilliant. I really enjoyed it. And then the Beastie Boys came out, did their song, and up here, "Hello, Castle Scotland," and everyone was up here, yeah, totally. What a place, amazing. I think I have seen these boys at Glasgow on YouTube, but they were really, really good. I really enjoyed them. I don't know any of their songs, but I bought the anthology Greatest Hits, which was like too long. What I really wanted was, in fact, actually, Scott, we were in Perth a couple of weeks ago. That's where I bought the Beastie Boys records. I've got the one that's got like an airplane wing or an airplane tailpiece as the cover. I bought that for like £3 in the record shop in Perth. So I was up there because I was working in Pitlochry. I was up here, went Perth, up here record shops, up here bought a records, up here. Got out the record shop. There was a guy looking pretty cool walking past, like a stoner as well. I was like, up here, hey, so go there. Just any other record shops? The guy's like, "Aye, man, it's Perth. You're lucky there's one," and then fucks off like that, right? So there was no other record shops in Perth. We made a tandem out of 2 bikes, got my dad to weld them, got up to 35. Fuck's sake. I can't even imagine. I remember buying a speedometer from a Rally Grifter, whatever it was, and it was the Bonfest might be this weekend because Alex isn't on He was going to Alex Gardner. I fixed a few of his guitars. He's a member of the Steam team. He was going to the Bonfest. I can't imagine this, but I do remember two guys getting a shot of a tandem. It was basically two BMXs, and what they'd done was take the front wheel off the back BMX and just bent the forks out to put them on the thingy. And to be fair, the two of them could drive it, but me and my pal Neil had a shot of it, and it was like pure aye crunch. I think there's a skill to riding two BMXs when basically all you do is take the front wheel off the back BMX and stick it onto the axle or the wheel of the front BMX. There's still record shops, Ravensmead. Record shops, Picor. Yes. So I've got the most Scottish album. Was that pure right? Aye. Big country album. There you go. Is that pure? Aye. Oh, that's quite Scottish. Fucking dipped in batter and deep fried. That's as Scottish as you can get. Corey's album, deep fried. Yes. I need to get into more Corey stuff. Actually, I bought a belter of record. Me and Scott were in a charity shop and we were down seeing Taylor in Kilmarnock. Taylor's not on today. I hope he's all right. Hey, Taylor. We were at a shop in Kilmarnock and we were looking through records, and there was hundreds that looked really funny, and then there was one, and it was the one with Crinan Canal on it, which I don't know if I had a SoundCloud at one point. Is there any chance I can remember how it goes? Crinan Canal for me. Right back the wide open sea. From down to can't remember the chords, but that's the one song I've got on SoundCloud is the Crinan Canal. It's an 8-minute prog rock version, which starts first bit's like Neil Young, and then it goes into a disco mid-8. Lovely and calm when you're boiling your ham. The Crinan Canal for me. Highland Voyage is called that record. And it's like, see if I'd known that the records were fucking. I thought the woman behind the counter said 25p, and my reaction was, "Fuck's sake, what?" She actually said 75p because I gave her £1. But I mean, it's like, I wish I'd known that I would probably have bought other ones. It's fucking great. The Crinan Canal song is brilliant. I know it's quite a. To be fair, Kit Kats, it is quite a detour to go from. I don't even know where Jen lives. What's that? Is that called Knightswood? So it's like kind of. You're on the Clyde, so Scottish Kilbride was on the other side of the Clyde, but yeah, it's quite a detour to come this way. It worked out really well when Scott turned up at random because that was quite a fucking detour. But I suppose he knew it was in. I probably looked up. Well, he's still doing the live stream. I'll fucking turn up at the door like a knob. Never going to be funny again, though. Quite as funny. Yeah. I used to saw bike forks and slide them over to the other forks to make choppers. Wow. I actually remember talking about this. I think it was a Rally Burner BMX thing, and my dad had a lawnmower that he was chucking out. Fucking all of those handlebars. So the handlebars were the lawnmower to your, but they went right down to the ground. So I had a BMX that had, and literally this was after I'd seen Easy Rider, so I must have been, I don't know, 15 or something like that. I remember about the Loch Fyne at the chalet going up the Forestry Commission Road pushing this thing. Because you could push up this Forestry Commission Road from up the mountain like that, and then on the way down, it was freewheeling. So it was kind of like having a motorbike because you didn't have to pedal. And I was on this thing, and it was literally, you'd be sitting there and the handlebars were there like that, and they fucking moved back and forth. It was terrifying. But I did try to make an Easy Rider thing using lawnmower handlebars that pure went like that. Yes. Elvis Shakespeare on Leith Walk is well worth a visit for vinyl records and books. Shameless plug advert. Fair enough. Leith Walk, I don't really know that much about it. I know where Leith is, North Edinburgh, and I know there's the Proclaimers album called Sunshine on Leith, but that's all I know. Obviously, I like how we'd walk 500 miles, of course, and I remember buying it. We're going back when I had my first walk. When you used to get a thing called the Esso collection, which everybody's towels and blank cassettes and mugs, but it should like the shape of Scotland and seagulls. Everybody had them because it was the ESO collection. My dad was in a company car, so he got to keep the tiger tokens to get it. And it was always that. I remember, I forgot what I'm going for. Yes, I got the Modern Pop cassette. Dad came home one time and it had I Would Walk 500. I had Letter from America on it, and Get Out of My Dreams, Into My Car by Billy Ocean, and I can't remember anything else. I didn't like music at that time. Those handlebars are called ape hangers. Marco's struggling with a pifter pakora. And you obviously get Bucky pakora. You obviously get Bucky pakora. You get Bucky burgers in my favourite shop, which is it's called the Cot House, and it's at the top of the Holy Loch in Sandbank. I don't know if it's still in Sandbank, like near Dunoon, and that's my favourite shop in the world. It's fucking great. I remember going in there like at the bottom of Loch Eck, and you go in, and it was like I remember it's on my Facebook from years ago. I remember going in. Like we were literally getting petrol because it was a petrol station as well, and looking in, and you know you get this the pink cardboard sort of fluorescent stars that say special offer. It had House Red, $5.49, and it was like immediately it was like House Red is Bucky. I like this place. It's a really bizarre place. I think it was owned by a relative or someone my age. Was the owner. I don't know how they ended up with it. So everybody that was in it was funny as fuck. It's like the wee co-op up the road's a wee bit the same. Not the co-op that's over there. It's 100 yards or 20 yards further away. But the wee co-op, it's like when you get it owned by a certain person, they only choose people that they think are funny and get on with. So there's no normal people. They're all fucking weirdos, but hilarious. And that's what the Cot House is like. So you go into the Cot House and you'd be like, up here, he's a bottle of Bucky, and you'd be like, up here, ha ha. And it'd be fun. You'd always get a bit of the banter. Fucking great. Haggis pakora. Haggis pakora was one of the things on the platter we had at a curry last night. There was haggis pakora. There was also the chicken chat, which was fantastic. And then I tried another slightly different coloured chicken chat that I was eating it. It was like pure. Just really. Like, you can eat going, it's kind of tasted like armpits or something. That's just wrong. And it was like, you can get chicken chat that's somehow made of lamb, apparently. That's why it didn't taste like the chicken one. That was really bizarre. Sunny Leith. Sunshine's in Leith, totally. Leith Walk. Yeah. I bought actually got one of my videos, one of the Guitar Safari ones. I got someone selling it was a short scale. It was actually all right. You know, a short scale Stratocaster type thing with one pickup in it. I'd never met the guy. I had no idea who he was, and the advert was Edinburgh going up here. Yeah, we cheap electric guitar works fine. 20 quid, or if you're Mad Malco, it's free. It was like, well, I have to go and get it, don't I? So I went to do it. I took the GoPro with me and I stuck it at the roof of my car when I was picking it up. So I got a guitar free. I did have to drive to Edinburgh to get it, but it was just really bizarre. It's like, this is, I don't know, 5 years ago or something like that, when it was like when my fame had started to precede me a little bit. I thought it was quite funny. I did, as I said, I was like, I'll do something. I think it was more the point of, it's not worth anything. I can't really get it to work, but I don't want to throw it out. And it's like, okay, I'll sell it for 20 quid, but 20 quid's 20 quid. But it's like, you do something stupid with it. I put fucking 4 pickups on something stupid. I can't even remember. That's for Red Dwarf doing Dave Dosh. There's a great Vice doc on YouTube set in Glasgow where the chef cooks with Bucky and even makes ice cream with it. I had, when I went down to see Andy Neon Tetrahedron, I can't remember why I was going down to see him. Buy a guitar, swap a guitar, fix a guitar, whatever it was, down in Troon, which you have to pronounce like, eat your ice cream with a spoon. Aye, it's like spoon, Troon. I need Bucky sweets. They were like bonbons, maybe Bucky, and he's like, well, you were meant to come down 3 months ago, so these are 3 months out of date. They were fucking great. Really liked them. I don't really want any pakora just now because I've already had chicken pakora. part of a pakora platter last night, and then I had pakora because it was cheap, and he was going out of date today, so I've still got another one. So tomorrow I'll be having 1 day out of date pakora. But I mean, pakora's fucking amazing. Like, oh, there's something about it. Chicken pakora, especially. It's like, my pakora. My pakora, I'm never gonna. Before you go on the Bombay Express, there's definitely got to be a song on the Bombay Express, which is obviously about eating a curry and spending the following day on the toilet, remembering that you had a curry last night. It's definitely there. You know what I mean? Maybe I should be writing songs like that. It's like kind of like the idea of doing the sort of Spinal Tap thing, where it's actually quite a good song with a good riff and shit, but it's about pakora or it's about being on the toilet all day. I kind of like that idea rather than it being, normal. Yeah, maybe there's a humour in there. Be a sort of comedy band. Maybe the Darkness sorted it. Not as much. I don't know. There must be an audience for it somewhere. Someone actually suggested the other day, I was happy. Do you do any solo gigs? And it's like, Tequila. I feel I should know Tequila. I wish you were there. See if you could actually speak back at me. You'd be able to hum 3 notes of Tequila and I would know. I know it's a song. I know it's only got one word in it. It just goes Tequila, but I can't remember the tune. Tequila. Now I've got fucking My Sharona in my head. There's nothing. There's no room for any other riffs apart from My Sharona, which incidentally is fucking great. I've never seen the version that I saw first time was on YouTube on some TV show, and it was really, really, really good. And then I tried to find it the following day to post it on Facebook. I couldn't find the one that I'd seen. It can't have been on YouTube then. I was able to find it. Do pakora. Do Tequila. I've definitely seen a karaoke version of that, and the big joke was it was like 2 minutes of music, and then the guy went Tequila, and then it was like another minute of music. The song was over. Tequila. I'm on the bucket. I can't remember. My pakora. Made of haggis. It's actually the brown note, isn't it, what killed Alan Holdsworth? I've been watching a lot of Alan Holdsworth recently. The guy is no right in the head. I don't know, Scott, or if you're still there, Scott, I watched a thing and he was talking about scales, and yeah, he's definitely not. Is it neuronormal? He's definitely not. But I mean, it's the way of thinking. He's kind of describing it the way I describe guitar wiring. It's like, yeah, totally not. What seems. It sort of made sense. It's like, no, I don't see scales. I don't see it. Oh, you're doing the D sharp minor, blah, 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 scale. I don't start in D sharp minor. All the notes on the fretboard, he just knows what they all are that are in what that scale is. All of the notes, he just sees them in his head when he plays it. So all he's doing is, I only like improvising because he knows exactly which notes to play. And he tries to make melodies using just the notes that are on there. And if you look at the scale chart, it really is like 7/8 of the notes on the fretboard are dotted, are the ones you can play. There's just ones you can't play. A great as Asian God's Reason, that's called Amaf Mahid. Love it. What do you call a guy? Oh, what do you call a guy with bacon on his scalp? It was like, Hamid. It was like, what if he's standing between two buildings? Hamid Ali. And then what was the other one? There was 3. What was the other one? The guy with spots still there is Coopin. Rashid. Yeah, I'm not classing those as racist jokes. I hope. Don't unsubscribe. It's funny. I don't know. I was actually just got that out. I was like, what was we were watching? It was a guy who he was evacuating people from whatever that war is. He was up here. He was from Glenrothes or something. It was up here, right? And he was like, like a Sudanese or something like that. And he's up here. They were interviewing him. He's like, up here. Aye, well, I'm just here helping out. And he's up here. There's a certain amount of pride going up here. Yeah, totally. Fucking Scotland. Yeah. Brilliant. I just love seeing people who are from another country. They're clearly black or something, and they just sound like they're from Fife. Like that. They're one of us. I've got more in common with you than I do with 95% of the other white people. One of us. Bizarre. Morse version of tequila. I can't. What's got 9 arms and sucks? I know that one, but that's not as funny as what's got 8 legs and a big black cunt. But yes, it's the only reason I know this is because you told me a few weeks ago. I know it's Def Leppard. Yes, and they do totally suck. But what's got 8 legs and a big black cunt? The A-Team, yes. So it's the same joke, but both can be said immediately after each other. Yes. Again, if that counts as racist, I don't. Just because I think it's funny doesn't mean I'm racist. But I do like that when you get like him. I said I don't ever watch football. I'm not interested. But I do always like it when you get like footballers who are from the area that they are, and you look at him and you go, "Up here, right? He's from some. You know, he plays for Newcastle, right? Okay, fair enough. Is that why? You know, up here, yes, go for it. Minjita. Oh God, that's terrible. There's definitely a joke there. I know it. I don't know it. That's terrible. Oh God. The thing is, it's really annoying. See, my pal Tegan, I went down to that Hard Rock Hell with him, and he told me a proper dad joke, not dirty at all. But I'd never heard it before, and I can't remember what it was. And it was like, I didn't want to give him the satisfaction of telling a really good joke, so I kind of hid the fact of how fucking good a joke it was. It was really, really stupid. The sort of joke you could totally tell a 6-year-old or something like that. And it was, you know, it's not rude at all, but it was fucking hilarious. I wish I could remember what it was. I can't even really think of one that's equivalent to it. It was kind of almost as good as What's Brown and Sticky, or What's Green and Invisible. Do you know what I mean? No, I already said this track. I've already said that. It's a guy with bacon on his head and standing between two tall buildings. Is Hamid Ali? Yeah. There's definitely. I used to be really good at jokes. I used to have like an almost repertoire. It was a thing that you tell jokes that were. I used to have a run that would maybe last 15 minutes of constant telling jokes. What do you do if you see your telly floating in the night? I've either not heard this joke, in which case, well done, or I've heard it with slightly different things. Go, Kit Kats, what is it? What do you do if you see your telly floating in the night? Very good. I like dad jokes. I'll tell you what, what's brown and sticky? A stick. What was the other one I just said? What's green and invisible? That cabbage. Yeah. What's that? The ceiling. That's my level. That will always be good. I do notice that Kit Kats, you did say telly, as in T-E-L-L-Y, as in telly, not T-E-L-E. I'd have another the same drink. What's brown and taps on your windows? Is that going to be something stupid like the Jobby Ghost or something like that? You hear about the Scarecrow got the Nobel Prize? He was outstanding in his field. Yeah, I know that. It was 2 cows. No, it was like 2 cows in a field. Which one isn't there? That's the one with the wee calf. Yeah, light and hard. You can go to sleep with the light on. Yes. Yeah, very good. The problem is, I used to be really good at remembering them. I just can't remember them. It's really shit. Really annoying. That G string is pure bent, which I'm sure many people have said before. But I'm talking about a guitar in this case. It's got like a hump in it. I wonder if I got these strings off of took them off another guitar before I put them on it. This is kind of probably why that would explain why it's got like a pure dink in it. The string goes right there, which probably means that the guitar it was in before was maybe a Les Paul or something. One Kit Kats, what is it? Hurry up. It's not fun to make us wait. I bet you it's not a good joke. That's why you can't give us 2 cannibals eating a clown. You just say this tastes funny. Yeah, that's not what's the telly thing. Would you see your telly floating in the night? I'd have another of the same drink. Telly. I feel I've missed this one. We're quite scraping the barrel here. It's good. I'm just trying to think of things that aren't offensive. Some jokes were just super offensive. But I was told one with my pal Ivor the other day, and even him, I could see he was struggling to say it because the sort of joke that I used to say at primary school and stuff like that. But you can't say it on YouTube, can it? You missed it. It was quite racist. Pakora. I don't know. No, I don't know. It's racist or not. All I heard was Irish. I was going to say it fucking YouTube. I'll just get banned and blocked. The Jimmy Savile things. Like, what's your favourite? What kind of girls do you like? And I was like, I like 28-year-olds. And I was like, what is it? What is it about 28-year-olds you like? He's like that because there's 20 of them. You know what I mean? It's like that. You can't say that. That's terrible. And he was even dodgy telling me. It's only because I know him quite well. And he was like, Jesus, you can't say that. Humpy strings. Next thing, all guitars to them. I'll sell you a set of humpy strings. To be honest, it doesn't make that much difference. Only when it must make a difference. If this guitar had good strings on it and it had been set up and shit, it'd be fine. Jimmy jokes. Oh. I do remember a joke. I know the best joke in the world, but it's quite long. I do remember one of the jokes that my pal Jimmy was in. I don't know how true this joke was, but someone's like, he was in town. This is when I was at school. He was in town, and someone goes, "You got the time, Jimmy?" And he's like, "How do you know my name?" His name was, yeah, probably not true, but fucking funny at the time. Go Stats. I don't know. Like the funniest joke in the world was the one that was in the Monty Python thing. Yeah, when it was like they wrote the funniest joke in the world and died laughing at it, and then they were using it in the war. Whereas they translated it into German, and they got like British troops who couldn't speak German to read it out, like charging the front lines, going, and then it was like you could see the German machine gun turrets, and it was like and then they all just fell over and died. I've still not put up the video of us at the Monty Python castle. Damn it! It's just I don't know. Anyone near me can be bothered doing editing for free. I can't be bothered. I don't know how to do it, and I just get really annoyed at it. And it's like I could see the amount of time it takes me to edit a video that's done from shit footage from a GoPro. I could easily do 10 normal videos. It's just that's really annoying. I'm not computer literate. Pakora. I wonder if you get pakora in India. It's one of those things. It's like, see, when all the things that we know when I was in China, all the things we know as Chinese food. Well, your sweet and sour chicken, your chow mein, your beef and black. We never saw any of that in China at all. There was nothing that looked like what we get as a Chinese anywhere in China. Well, when I was looking about, just like there was nothing recognized. There was no such thing as sweet and sour. I just assumed that you go to a Chinese restaurant. And it's like, obviously in China, the Chinese restaurants aren't Chinese restaurants. They are Guangdong district, Xi'an district food from different regions, but China's so fucking big. Like, fucking the city I was in was bigger than Britain. I mean, I was going to say bigger than Scotland, but something like 12 million people left Shenzhen for Chinese New Year when I went last time. And it's like there only are 5 million people in Scotland. So that's like all of Scotland plus everyone with another pal from somewhere else all left. There'd been nobody there. You're probably down, I don't know, fucking Liverpool or something like that, halfway down England before you get enough people who leave one city, Shenzhen, which the only reason I'd ever heard of it is that's where the big port is that sells you guitar parts. I'd never heard of Shenzhen before that. Is haggis the same around the world? I don't know. It's like, honestly, if you're Scottish, you have to maintain the myth that well, you have to tell the, it's like they've got one leg shorter on the other, so that's why they run round hills. It's like, you have to. It's much better than the Santa thing where you pretend that you got to. It's like, that's what haggis is. The thing about haggis, if you've never tried it, it's really good. It tastes amazing. So if you've never tried haggis, you think, oh God, that was pure awful. It's not like, okay, it's made of horrible things. You don't want to know what it's made of. You think chase it like an Australian drop bear? Possibly. I don't know. Right, I've finished my bucky. I'm going to bed. Anyone else get any more jokes? Oh, fucking Jesus. Or a request for a song that I know how to play. And I'll end it. Oh. I'm just not looking forward to standing down, to sitting down, because my legs are sore from that paintballing yesterday. That was pure death. That was like so unfit. I did fucking steaming up in the goggles. It was ridiculous. There was a really funny bit which didn't get caught on camera, which is really annoying. Led Zeppelin. I can't play any. I don't know. There's any Led Zeppelin songs I can play all the way through. I can't remember what Tequila goes like. In fact, I've got the fucking computer on. Where we go? Where's my cursor? That drunk, I can't find the cursor. It's either on that screen or it's on that one. There you go. Found it. Right. After watching Burniston. Be interesting to see if I get copyright striked for doing Burniston. I hope not. The thing is that if it's got anything to do with the guys that actually own Twisted Sister. I don't know if it's a Twisted Sister guitar. But is it? Twisted Sister doesn't play BC Riches. Killer song. Fucking playing it in sharps, arseholes. Tequila. I'm going to go to bed and impulse buy a silly guitar. Or There's some really good Twisted Sister songs though. What's it? Under the Blade. Can't remember what it goes like. It's great though. I am. It's fucking good as well. But can't remember. It's really annoying. We're not gonna take it. We're not gonna take it. We're gonna take it anymore. Not for the cause of treason, but for never leaving. Without your best won't do. We're not gonna take it. He's more cowbell. We're not gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore. Not gonna take it. We're not gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore. Your life is tired and jaded, tiring and constipated. If that's your best won't do. But where the tours it because they'll never leave us. Together play the Babylon. We're not gonna take it. We're not gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore. There's a cool, different Taylor. Kingdom sounds better than Kilmarnock. Don't Google it. The Kingdom, I know the Kingdom, yeah. For the Kingdom, eh? It's like, but why do people from the Shire and the Kingdom sound similar? I want to know that. Why do they not sound like Glasgow? Because Glasgow's in the middle. Like on a map. Glasgow's, I'm trying to fucking have to do this backwards, won't I? So if you're looking at this way, not where I'm looking at it, but what I'm looking at the picture, Edinburgh's. This is hard to look at. No, Glasgow, Edinburgh, the Kingdom, the Shire. Why do these two sound similar? Whereas Glasgow sounds different. Edinburgh doesn't really have an accent. They're all English. But, it's like, I don't understand how that works. Guy pulls up at the pub in a Ferrari with a supermodel, but his head is an orange. What's the story, sells the barman? I got 3 wishes. 1, I want to be rich. 2, I want the most beautiful life. Then what? Orange. I don't know. Aye, the Kingdom is Fife. Aye. I don't know. It sounds funny though. Go on, Strata. I can't go to bed until I know. I've got to know. See, if you were a total bastard, you would basically just turn off right now and leave us hanging. Sounds like a good one though. I bet he's got a good punchline because it doesn't make sense now. I wish my head was an orange. Yeah. Good. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. That's great. I'm trying to think of somebody that plays a BC Rich bitch. I can't think of anybody at all. Did Dave Mustaine? I can't play any. Yeah, what was it? I know it's an E. No, I can't remember. I don't know. Slayer though, Kit Kats. No, they're definitely Dave Mustaine definitely played one of these. There's definitely two Megadeth songs I know. No, to be fair, I do quite like what was the album I got? The one with the nuclear radiation symbol on the inside. Peace Sells Who's Buying, something like that. One of them's really good. But the main one's the one from Bill and Ted's, which is good. I can't remember where it goes like though, because I'm drunk, but it's there. Just lots of O's. I got you. I remember Pure Amazing, my pal at uni, when we were in Bigger's Music. I was like, it was Bigger's Music. You remember you used to get tab books that were like 25 quid, and I had the tab in it. I was like, up here. He was looking at Metallica when I was like, I bet you there's an E5 on that page. What page? Any page? And he was like, up here. Fuck's sake, how did you know? Because it's an E5, isn't it? That's obviously on every page of the Metallica book. When a bird joined her firm from the Shire, she couldn't understand us, and we hadn't a clue what Daft Bent was on about, Ken. Yeah, but Ken's a fucking thing as well. That was like my favorite, one of my favorite. In fact, maybe my favorite text message I've ever had was from Taylor, and he was talking about some guy that had he was trying to buy a guitar off him, and I don't know, the guy had raised the price or something stupid, and he's like, up here, and the text I got, and I was like, up here, oh man, sounds like a dick, and he's like, up here, his text was, I a hoachin wank of a cunt, Ken. What a text message. My favourite text message I've ever had. Thought your dial cut out, eh, Ken? Yeah. I actually remembered when I was in Perth with Scott. It was like, what I used to work in Pitlochry. So there was guys there that were from Perth and they could do the Dundee accent. You just go, at the end of the sentence. It goes like that. Pierre, I mate, thought you dial-up, but can't do it. I can't quite get it right. I don't know. Accents are funny. It's like, if you're, I don't know, if you're Scottish and you're actually working quite far away, not far away, but in the kingdom or something, you end up getting right into, and you just end up doing it without thinking about it to join in. You know what I mean? You end up just speaking the language. You know, Ken, I. That was what I was going. I remember first my pal Wayne, who I go down to download with, and known him for years now. But the first time I ever actually met him in person was we went to a Rush Fest convention thing in the Dreadnought Rock where I played with the Sabbath band in Bathgate. And I was talking to the guy in the Purple Orange Arts venue, which was just around the corner. I played, I did a gig, my one and only solo gig in there. And it was like, up here, I was up here, just from fucking Fife. So it was like, up here, up here, there's a guitar over there. You might quite like it, Ken. And I went after we talked to him for 5 minutes, we were outside, and Wayne's like, why do you keep calling you Ken? I was like, up here. Don't realise that Ken means you know. I was like, up here, aye. Got a pink BC Rich, Ken. Got a pink BC Rich, you know. Doesn't look pink in this, but I think, see, because I've got a pink t-shirt on, so it really, see if I hold it next to the red, it doesn't fucking, it's shite. It's shite. It's like, this is a pink guitar. It does not look pink though. It looks red. Well, maybe. You see, it's pink. Sort of. I'm going to set this up and take it over to Scott's and see if he gives this fucking 1 out of 10 the absolute cunt of a wank, hoaching cunt of a wank. Who gave my fucking BC Rich Wave, which is a 1983 through neck BC Rich of the most amazing shape, a 1. And it only got 1 point because it still had 6 strings on it. It did have a Wonder Bar on it, which I don't really get. But I mean, yeah. I'd interested to see what he thinks of this one, see if he rates it the same, because I mean, it's a hideous shape. You'll be like, I can see that now that bit there's for when you're going. The one you always see of this, I haven't seen one for ages though, is like, it's the Body Art series, and it's got like a woman's bum on it, like the back bit, kind of the lower back and ass, kind of that kind of look, and it's got like a woman's bum on it, which is fair enough. You know what I mean? It's like, why not have a Body Art series? It's one of the more common ones, the bitch, but this is a skinny bitch. They're normally not quite this shape. They're normally out here and out here. So there's not normally a fat bitch, which doesn't really come out. Right, anyhow, I'm going to bed. So it's only 10 to midnight, so I can. Rock on, everyone, and I will fucking edit a couple of videos and put them out this week. That looks mint in camera. See how it does on what's in the bag. Yeah, I kind of ruined it a wee bit. Scott, you still here? Because he might not know. He's not here. That's fine. He's got to bed like a sensible person would. You know what I mean? Rock on. Love you all, and I'll see you during the week when I'm talking pish. And I've got some videos that I should edit that I can't be arsed editing. I'm going to edit. I will. It's just I could fix a guitar in the same amount of time it takes to edit one of the bastards. So I don't know how people do it. That's how people make money on YouTube. What they do is they do one video a week and spend the same amount of time that I do, but they do it on one video and they edit it and they think about what they're going to say before they do the video. What? Have a plan? Yeah, you keep hearing folk start talking about, like people writing the. It's like I was doing the script for this. It's like the script for a video. Fuck off. I tried that. I think I did it once. Basically, it was like immediately after about 30 seconds, I was miles off the script and I couldn't get back to it. But I will have to check out the Burniston catalogue. I'd never seen that that Pecora one, that's awesome. Catch you later, Kit Kats, Dunk. and Kenneth and Dirty Blue Jean. We are. I was talking about. I mentioned Captain Beefheart earlier on. I'm sure that's a picture of Captain Beefheart there. But I will have to check out. Jeff, catch you later. Love you all. Cheers. Thanks for letting me do this. It's like doing something that's really fun anyway, and other people kind of back you up. Rocking.